Welcome to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Jimmy John's on a beautiful night in Salt Lake City. We've got a rivalry game for you. The Aggies of Utah State have come down the freeway on the road to take on 24th ranked Utah. Hi, everyone. Dave Fleming alongside Coach Mac Brown. Allison Williams with us as well. They call it Patriot Day here tonight in Utah. And, of course, all of us are thinking of the many thousands who lost their lives 14 years ago today, and the many thousands more who were so heroic on that September 11th as we get ready for a football game, a game that they call the Battle of the Brothers. And, Mac, I think it would be unfair to call Utah State the little brother in this rivalry because this program has built up. They've won 3 straight bowl games. They've won a lot of games. And they've got a quarterback who is no stranger to this rivalry. When he's healthy, he is a star.
Dave, they've got a star in Chucky Keaton. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. He beat Utah State, or Utah, the last time that he played in the game. When it was at their place. When he got up here in Utah, he lost the game 30-26. But he can run, he can throw, and he's got to be the difference for Utah State tonight in this ballgame.
Yeah, when he is healthy, and we're not sure he's 100% healthy coming into this one, he's one of the more dynamic playmakers in all of college football. And speaking of, Utah's got a tremendous running back to lead the way for their offense. Devontae Booker has turned into one of the country's best.
Devontae Booker is one of the best running backs in the country. Utah State's got to stop him tonight to stay in the game. He's a guy that can run off tackle. He had a good game against Michigan. He loves the yards after contact. He's got good enough hands. He can catch the ball on the sweep and stretch the field and make plays, but he's also really dynamic out of the backfield. We can see here what a great one-handed catch, and he turns upfield again to make good yards. So they've got to stop him tonight to have a chance to win the game.
We've got star power on the field on Patriot Day. We've got a packed house, a sellout crowd for a rivalry game, Utah State and Utah. And we've got kickoff when we come back. What a night here at Rice-Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake City. It is beautiful for Utah State and 24th ranked Utah. Kickoff here in just a moment. Dave Fleming, Mac Brown. And before kickoff, let's welcome in the third member of our broadcast team. Utah State not at full strength, right, Allison Williams?
That is true, Dave. Chucky Keaton, of course, the key to this Utah State offense, but he's without a couple of major players, including wide receiver Hunter Sharp. He was the team's leading receiver last year. Their real big play threat. He and offensive lineman Tyshawn Mosley, along with cornerback Bryant Hayes, all serving the second of a 2-game suspension for a violation of team rules. On the other side, Utah gets back cornerback Dominic Hadfield. He returns from a suspension served for charges relating to a misdemeanor assault. Whittingham decided to reinstate him even though the legal case is ongoing, because the feeling is even if the worst case scenario plays out, the punishment is adequate. We'll see how much he plays, though, guys. He did not practice with the team until Monday of this week.
Okay, well, we will be monitoring that. Thanks, Allison. He is a returning starter for the head coach in his 11th year here in Salt Lake City, the National Coach of the Year back in 2008. Kyle Whittingham and his Utes, an impressive win against Michigan in their season opener, trying to improve to 2-0. But they've got to do it against a rival, Utah State, which was not as impressive in their opener, but they've got a head coach who seems like one of the bright rising stars in the business in Matt Wells.
Yeah, I think Matt Wells is one of the best coaches around. He was a quarterback at Utah State, an offensive coordinator at Utah State. He gets it. He believes in this place. They weren't pleased with their production last week offensively. It'll be really interesting to watch them against a great Utah defense tonight.
So here we go. Jake Thompson kicks one deep and through the end zone for a touchback. And Utah will have the ball first, led by their senior, very experienced quarterback, Travis Wilson.
Travis Wilson's got to be a factor tonight. You go back and look at Utah State's defense last week. They were very good against Southern Utah. They held them to 1 of 18 on third downs, only gave up 160-something yards total defense. So they're going to try to stop Booker tonight, and Travis Wilson has to be the X factor for Utah.
6'7". He is a big quarterback who can move, from San Clemente, California. A 4-year starter, at least for pieces of those 4 seasons here in Salt Lake City. From the 25-yard line, Utes have the ball first against what is a tough Aggies defense, and a quick completion left side for a gain of about 7 yards to Tyrone Smith. And we'll take a look at our impact players coach when Utah has the ball.
Well, Devontae Booker, one of the best running backs in the country. Utah State has to stop him tonight, and to do that, Kyler Fackrell has to be a factor. 6'5" defensive end. He's going to rush the passer, but he's also got to make some stops in the running game.
He's returning from a knee injury. He is a playmaker on the outside who can be disruptive in the pass rush game. 2nd and short for the Utes. And they will give Booker his first touch. He gets hit immediately and drops short of the first down.
Be a very interesting 3rd down and 1, because Utah State has got to make a stop in the running game. What will the offensive Utah come up with? You've got your entire playbook on 3rd down. Do you run it up inside? Do you run your power? Do you try to get something outside in the running game, or something quick in the passing game?
And I think you sort of referenced that in our open, Mac, and that is for Utah State, task 1, 2, 3, maybe through 10, stopping Devontae Booker, who is behind the quarterback Wilson. Utah, though, not organized on the 3rd and short.
Utah, 1st of the half.
And on their first possession, they call their first time out of the game.
This is such a key play. If the Utah State defense lined up in something a little unusual, and the play that they called wasn't the one that they thought would get there, it's worth using the timeout to try to make it a first down.
So Kyle Whittingham wasn't real thrilled with the way that went. The 11th year, and we mentioned National Coach of the Year back in 2008, succeeded Urban Meyer, who built this program into a powerhouse, now bumping up a level of competition in the Pac-12. It's taken them a few years back, but I think now they're at the point where they feel like they can really compete in the Pac-12.
They have. This is his 11th year as the head coach, and he said that at least 70 better recruits have come to Utah since they've joined the Pac-12, and it's really separating him from some other teams across the country. He really believes a big challenge, tougher schedule, but it's best for them overall in the future.
Well, Utah State's another program that in the last few years has moved up a level of competition, you could say, now in the Mountain West, and they are a contender. Boise State is the power in that league. Utah State has been the team to push them these last few years.
They've won 9 games and 10 games the last 2 years. Did an amazing job playing 4 different quarterbacks last year and still winning 10 games and winning 2 bowl games in a row.
So out of the timeout, it'll be 3rd and 1 for Utah on the first possession of this game. Wilson almost in a pistol-like formation with Booker behind him. And he will hand it off to Devontae Booker, who powers his way for a first down. Not easy, but he needed 1. He got 2.
Well, that's a message. Utah's coming right at him, and you start looking at a power play off to the left. Right guard pulls around. Good running by Booker behind his pads to make the first down. You don't start looking around and take your time and stutter step on short yardage. Go get the first down.
The senior from Sacramento who committed to Washington State out of high school, did not qualify, went to junior college, now an academic all Pac-12 performer, gets the ball again. Going to be tough running. Utah State's front 7 is a tough group. Ricky Aliifua, LT Filianga in on the tackle. 2 of their stout performers up front.
Yeah, they're really good, and they're too deep up front. So I think, Dave, they're going to make it tough on them to run the football. That's why Travis Wilson has to make some plays outside with the arm to make this game work. Offensive flip for Utah.
3 receivers to the right, and Wilson will play fake and pressured immediately, gets it off. The short completion, and tough running by Britton Covey, who is a true freshman, was a high school star here in the state of Utah as a quarterback, and he had a great debut last week against Michigan.
Well, and he's quick as a hiccup because you can see him in space there. Great tackle by Utah State, but now you come up to another 3rd down and 2. It's going to be a game about 3rd down and short, in my opinion, for both offenses.
So a heck of a debut for Covey. Now Wilson on 3rd and 2.
What they did there, Dave, is they started a play, faked the snap count to get Utah State to show their hand on defense and then change the play.
Option play, and Wilson will lunge forward for the first down. The ankle tackle by Nick Vigil, but plenty enough When you're 6'7", if you fall for it, you get some yards.
Well, good check by the offense at Utah State. You can see they're going to slant to the offensive right side. Wilson goes to the option left and turns up for the first down. Again, heady play by Wilson. He knew he had to make 2. He got 3.
So a couple of first downs for the Utes on their first possession of this game. Nearing midfield. The play fake. Wilson looking downfield. Instead throws short right for the completion. Not much there. Hustling to the ball. The Aggies defense, a gain of 2.
Very good defense by Utah State. Those guys can run. They tackle well in space. These are 2 very, very well coached defenses, and they're very similar. We're also seeing Utah State stem a lot up front to try to confuse the front of Utah.
Marcus Sanders Williams with the catch. 2nd and 9. Another quick hitter to Covey, left side, and a quick cut upfield. You can see those moves and see why they like him so much as a true freshman. That's another Utah first down.
Another great call by Utah's offense. When you start looking at the fake to Devontae to the right, that takes the entire defense to their left because they're chasing him. They've got to stop him, get the ball to Covey, a quick receiver in space to the left for the first down.
In Utah State territory on this game-opening drive, another play-action play. Wilson over the middle, caught by Covey again. Inside the 25. That's another gain for a Utah first down. Devin Centers with the tackle, but 14 more yards.
And you've got good play action off of the back that they have to stop in Devontae Booker. Wilson's got plenty of time to throw the ball, Dave. They have not really been in his face yet. Had time for the play to develop downfield. Another first down for Utah.
3rd catch already for the true freshman, Britton Covey. Wilson passing again toward the end zone and incomplete. And that's a flag coming in late, and that could be an illegal hit toward the helmet. It was Covey, the intended target. Marwin Evans is the guy who looks like made the hit that drew the flag, and now we'll have to see how the officials see this one.
This is always a tough call. Marvin Evans is being aggressive. It looked like it might be a touchdown. He dives in, so this will go to replay.
Personal foul, targeting, defense, number 24. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down. Play is under review.
So as you said, they are going to review this one, which is an automatic.
The key thing, too, Marvin Evans is a really good football player. He's a tough guy. He's a senior on that defense. That there's a safety that they need to be in there. So the biggest impact of this play is if he is ejected because of targeting.
Well, and to me, you could tell that Evans was trying to turn his head away. But as Covey came down, that helmet-to-helmet contact, and that's what the replay officials are looking at.
Yes, it's always a tough call. It's a tough decision. You want the guys to play football, but you don't want anyone to get hit in the head and get hurt. And that's a key call here for these officials because they're going to set the environment for hitting for the rest of the game.
I think it's going to be held up. I think that's going to be targeting, which will mean Evans is out of the game. Let's listen.
After reviewing the play, the ruling of targeting is confirmed. Number 24 is disqualified by rule. The penalty is enforced half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Well, that is obviously a big loss for Utah State. Brandon Cruz, the referee, we hear from him.
Well, it's a huge loss because you've got one of your leaders, one of your seniors, outstanding player in the middle of your defense. He's a heady player that sets up a lot of things. And you also have to go back and see if Covey now has a concussion issue or if there are reasons that he might not return to the game.
Well, they were definitely checking him out on the sideline. Jontrell Rockamore is the player who's come in to replace him. There's Britton Covey, who's been a playmaker on this first drive. So the 15-yard penalty plus the targeting, which means Evans is out of the game on the very first drive of the game.
And he has to leave the field, which I've never understood and I don't like. I wish the kids could go change their clothes so they can't play again. Let them come back and join their teammates.
First down, not quite first and goal. They will give it to Booker. No, a fake, and Wilson keeps it. Picking his way forward, left side, touchdown. Well, there's some of that athleticism from the senior quarterback, Travis Wilson, 12 yards. And Utah scores first.
Thought the offensive staff did an outstanding job of play fake to Devontae Booker the entire first drive. They did it on play action pass. On that time, they faked the speed sweep to the right. He comes back out to the left. And really, the good flow of the defense was all out of the way so he could run in for an easy score. Great drive, great play calling in the first drive of this football game for Utah.
10 plays, 75 yards, almost 5 minutes off the clock. An offensive lineman for the Utes is down and hurting. And that looks like J.J. Dielman, who gets up slowly and will walk off the field.
And J.J. is one of their best offensive linemen, so they need him back in this football game. Looks like he's going to be fine.
Starting right tackle from Phoenix, Arizona.
Very impressive drive. Utah set the tempo. They knew that the Utah State defense would chase Devontae all over the field. They did exactly what they needed to do. Ran him a few times, but used him as a decoy, much more to take it down for the touchdown.
Well, Britton Covey heading off the field back toward the locker room, so we'll keep our eyes on him. And I think they just came on the microphone and said they are going to review that play. To me, he clearly got to the pylon and got the touchdown, but they want to confirm that upstairs. So they'll take a look, and we'll take a look again, see if Wilson got to that pylon before he went out of bounds.
Sure looks like it. I think the replay officials are just being careful to make sure this is a really big game, important game, rival game, and they want to make sure that he's in the end zone. Looks like he is.
David Lambros, who is the replay official tonight. Yeah, that one's pretty clear cut. Shouldn't take long.
After reviewing the play, the ruling of touchdown is confirmed.
So it is a touchdown for Travis Wilson, who ran one in against Michigan last week. He's got 16 career rushing touchdowns. That's a part of his game.
Yes, and he makes this offense so much more dynamic simply because they're not one-dimensional. And he also hurt Michigan with some key throws and runs last week.
The All-American place kicker, Andy Phillips, will try the extra point. Phillips' kick is up and perfect. Nice drive to start the game, and Utah, 24th ranked team of the country, takes a 7-0 lead. Game tomorrow night. This is a big game, particularly for these two programs. In-state rivalry, Utah State, Utah from Salt Lake City, and the Utes take the opening drive 75 yards into the end zone and take a 7-0 lead. Hunt and Williams back deep to receive for the Aggies. Travis Wilson punched it in with the 12-yard run for the Utah touchdown. And a low hooking kick right into one of those up men on the special teams. That will give Utah State good field position to start their first drive of the game. Mac, let's take another look at that Utah touchdown.
Well, the offensive staff for Utah hit all the right buttons because you're going to see a fake speed sweep to the right. Look at all the linebackers from Utah State, and then they cut off the backside, and Travis Wilson just takes it and keeps it. Look at the fake. Really good fake. Linebackers are running over there. He cuts it up in tight, cuts back behind, and walks in untouched for a touchdown. Great drive by the Utah offense.
Travis Wilson 5 for 5 passing plus that touchdown run. Nice start for him. Chucky Keaton will hand it off on first down for the Aggies, and a nice gain on the ground by Devontae Mays, the tailback. Well, Chucky Keaton, his 5th year in the Aggies program. He has been a star when healthy. The senior from Houston. That's the big question. Is he healthy physically, and is he ready to go, having missed so much time?
Well, and this is a big drive because that'll answer a lot of things for Utah, the fan base, and Utah State's offense, and the confidence for their team.
Tight end Houston in motion. Keaton's going to swing one out left side. And a nice slip of the tackle by Zach Van Leeuwen gets right to the first down mark. But it looks like he's going to be spotted just a little bit short. When Utah State has the ball, Coach, our impact players?
You start looking at Chucky Keaton. We've talked about him already. He is the key to this football game for Utah State. But Gianni Paul, a transfer from Miami that had 14 tackles last week against Michigan, has to be a big player tonight.
So quickly to the line on 3rd and short, and bouncing it to the outside. Hunt will have the first down, the sophomore. Another kid from Florida in this Utah rivalry from Fort Lauderdale. It's 1st and 10 Utah State.
Matt Wells said they would use 3 different tempos tonight. That was a case of lining up really before Utah knew exactly what the formation would be or the play. Good strategy by Utah State. Big first down.
And it is interesting how closely they huddle to the line of scrimmage. And part of what you're talking about is sometimes they'll take their time in the huddle, then they get to the line quickly and go.
Unbalanced line this time.
Yeah, you're right. And not as quick in terms of the tempo. Hunt, nice hole up the middle for a gain into Utah territory down to the 44-yard line.
There was some question mark about the Utah State offense last week. I think it's already obvious they held a lot of things against Southern Utah that they're going to use tonight. A lot of different formations, a lot of different plays. They've got a good drive starting the game.
Well, it's not too harsh to say that Utah State on offense last week against an FCS school, Southern Utah, was horrible. I mean, they had a brutal offensive start to the year. They survived the game, and we'll see if week 2 is a big improvement. Keaton on the move, and he overthrows his intended target, Van Leeuwen. Incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 5 for the Aggies. This is how bad it was against Southern Utah. 1 of 15 on 3rd down. They punted 13 times. They did not score a touchdown offensively. They were called for 11 penalties on offense. It was ugly.
Well, I can tell you, after an offensive performance like that, there's been a lot of urgency by the Utah State coaches and players on offense this week, and they'll have a much better effort tonight.
Crowd is a factor. It's very loud here at Rice Eccles on 3rd and 5. Keaton back to pass, trying to buy some time. Keaton will throw across the field and way overthrows his target. It's intercepted. Intercepted by Marcus Williams. So the Aggies turn it over. Utah will get the ball when we come back to Salt Lake City. 7-0. Utah leads. A nice start for Utah here at home. Aggies move into Utah territory, coach, but then turn the ball over on their first drive.
Well, 2 things happen here. Chucky steps up. He kind of gets happy feet. Demick, the really tough defensive end for Utah, not only gets in his face, but he really hits him. So you forced a turnover. You've got your quarterback off balance, but he also took a really big hit. And you can see it affects the attitude and the enthusiasm, the confidence on that Utah State sideline.
Well, for Chucky Keaton, it has been a up and down career. A lot of ups when he's been healthy, just the injury problems that have kept him off the field. And they have him back for a 5th year up in Logan and expecting big things, but still trying to get him back into game shape, so to speak, get him back in game action, and he turns it over on the Aggies' first drive. So now from the 19-yard line, Utah has the ball for a 2nd time. They will hand it off to Devontae Booker, cuts it back right and out into the open. There goes Booker to the 35 and to the 40. A big gain on first down out to the 41. That's 22 yards for Booker.
Tremendous vision by him. You see Booker start to the left. It's good blocking up front. There's no penetration, but he bounces it all the way out to the right. Good job by the wide receivers downfield. You've got Kenneth Scott making a good block. Great play by Devontae Booker. Now you see how good the guy really is.
The only thing that almost slowed him down was his own quarterback. He almost ran over Travis Wilson. He got a cleat problem, so he's on the sideline for this first down play. And they will hand it off to his backup. That looks like Joe Williams, who is in, and not a lot of room for Williams. He gets 2.5 on first down. Ricky Ali'ifua, who's been active in the early part of this one with the tackle.
They do feel like when Joe Williams comes in the game, he's got tremendous speed, so they think that he still can be an impact in the game.
2nd down for Utah. Their offense, it wasn't quite like Utah State, but things were not perfect against a good Michigan defense. We're playing at home. I think they felt like they had a lot of room to improve here from week 1 to week 2. So far, so good. Wilson, little pump fake, and he finds his man open over the middle. That's Kenneth Scott, who is a 6th-year player. Another kid in this game has been beat up so many times, and look who's back. Britton Covey went into the locker room. I'm sure they did the concussion protocol and cleared to come back in game. This is the hit from the first drive. Marwin Evans was ejected from the game for targeting, and Covey had to go to the locker room. He had 3 quick catches on their first drive, so they're happy to have the true freshman back on the field. 1st and 10 on the move again. Booker gets it. Booker breaks a tackle. Down to the 40, and upset. He thought he had room for more. Jalen Davis hung on for dear life and made the tackle.
So now in the second drive, they're running Booker more because they've gotten him loosened up a little bit. They got their focus off of Booker because they're using all the play action and misdirection. So he's had 2 outstanding runs here on this drive. 2nd down, now and 2, you've got your entire playbook.
Wilson from the shotgun, with Booker to his left side. And once again, he gives it to Devontae Booker. Stopped right at that 1st down mark, at least according to that initial spot. Perhaps a little bit short.
And I would think, Dave, here that Utah would go 4 downs. Their field goal kicker, Anthony Phillips, is really good. He was only 1 for 3 last week. He's good from this distance, but this is a game where you don't feel like Utah State's going to score a lot of points, so they're going to try to get 7 points here on this drive instead of 3.
Well, there's Phillips getting ready just in case it's 3rd and 1. They keep it with Wilson, and Wilson makes a man miss. He's got the 1st down. It's not Wilson. It is Chase Hansen who came in for that 3rd down play, the 3rd-string quarterback, and they'll use him in some of those option-type plays. Hansen gets the 1st down.
Another good call, caught him off guard. Here's a guy you
1st down, except Kyle Whittingham is going, well, what's going on? And apparently it's a holding call. They're moving him back 10 yards. It'll be 3rd down at 10, but we never got a call from the official. And that Loatonga, and we're going to see if we can spot that holding penalty. Look at that play.
Defensive player, they're going to call it about every time. If the hands are outside or if you pull the jersey.
So instead of a 1st down, it's 3rd and 11. That's a big difference. And Wilson.
It's like a sack. It not only disrupts the play, but you can only take so many of those in the ball game, and it obviously makes the quarterback.
The Pac-12 Conference has for a century united the West through academic and athletic excellence. For the next 100 years, the Pac-12 will continue to champion meaningful change, reinforcing our commitment to academics, redefining the student-athlete's experience, and using technology to
Utah State with the ball, 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory, and a nice 1st down run from a tough kid, Devontae.
220-pounder, and they think against this big front at Utah, he's a guy that can carry it up inside and make some yards after contact.
Well, that was 7 yards starting at their own right about the 15-yard line to set up 2nd and short. Chucky Keaton from the shotgun. They fake that fly sweep action. Lawan Hunt, the sophomore, with some powerful running. Saw the helmet fly off of Justin Thomas, who will have to leave the field for at least a play. That's a Utah State 1st down.
Well, and where Devontae Booker was the focus for the Utah State defense, Chucky Keaton's been the focus for the Utah defense, and now they're trying to get some pressure off Chucky, run the football, settle him down, and let him have better protection.
2 1st downs. It already feels like Utah State's offense is better than it was in week 1. And they haven't done much yet, but at least some positive signs for the Aggies, who trail 7-0. Plenty of time on the play clock to make an adjustment to the call. It's Mays behind, and they give it to Devontae Mays, who cannot get away. Nice play by the middle linebacker, one of the captains for Utah, Jared Norris.
Yeah, Jared Norris is one of the better players in the country. He's from this state. This game's really important to him. A lot of these guys are cousins. A lot of them played together. There are brothers playing against each other, like they stated before. But one of the things that's very impressive is we were concerned about Utah being a little bit flat after the Michigan game. That is not the case tonight. Both these teams are ready to play.
Well, there is a close fraternity of football in this state. And a lot of close connections between these programs. The snap was fumbled by Keaton, and he fell on the ball with some help from Devontae Robinson. Almost looked like Robinson scooped it over to Chucky Keaton. So that avoids the turnover, but it loses yardage.
Yeah, Devontae Robinson's a speed guy. He's one of their best receivers. He's a senior. He's been around. It looked like they had the corner. They can't make those type mistakes and come up 3rd down and long.
3rd and 15, tough spot for the Aggies with the loud crowd.
Probably see a draw, screen, something simple here. Move the quarterback so they won't turn the ball over.
Keaton throws incomplete, and a flag comes in. Keaton is hurt. My goodness, and that is not what anybody wants to see. He took a hit, and he's trying to get up. And I think he must feel like it's not a serious injury. Anytime he goes down, you just wince because of the history.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense. Number 19. Low hit on the quarterback. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So the low hit roughing the passer, Sunia Tautioli, committed the personal foul.
It's a blitz. They've come after him. You cannot hit him low, and you've just got to hope that Chucky's okay. That young man has fought through so much. You've got to admire college football players. They love to play. They fight back. They overcome injury, and nobody's done it more than this young man.
So we'll hope that he's all right. He immediately grabbed that left knee and was hobbling around. 1st and 10. He stays in the game, and he's going deep down the right sideline. The pass is caught. Whoa, what a catch by Devontae Robinson. Over the shoulder on the sideline. Inside the 25, down to the 21. A gain of 39.
This is very good protection. They took the ball. They threw it over the outside corner, and Devontae makes a tremendous catch.
And immediately hustling to the line. Utah State wanted to get a playoff, but I think the officials...
Is a completed pass. The play is under review.
And that's a good job by the replay officials to take a look. They want to see. I think he got it.
Looks like the right foot is down, Dave, and that would be a catch in college football.
And did the ball stay under his control all the way through? Looks like it did.
I think it looks like a catch. What a great catch. And you've got to have seniors like Devontae Robinson step up and make a play early in this game to change the momentum, give some confidence and energy back to that sideline of Utah State.
So that one, another replay review that shouldn't take too long. To me, that's pretty clear cut that he made the catch and was in bounds legally. Let's get the ruling from upstairs.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It's first down.
Well, with Chucky Keaton clearly limping around, that was a beautiful pass delivery for the biggest play of the year so far for Utah State. On the move, well inside Utah territory, 1st and 10.
And good for Josh Heupel to go right back to a deep throw to give him some confidence. They had good protection for him that time, and now they've got a good drive. They're down at the 21-yard line going in.
Josh Heupel, who was the coordinator at Oklahoma, first year now at Utah State. Keaton from the shotgun on 1st and 10. They will hand the ball off, right side running with a big hole, and Mays, instead of cutting it straight upfield, he tried to bounce it to the outside. I don't know if that cost him any yardage there. It's still a nice gain of 7.
I think the Utah State coaches will say, big boy, you don't run sideways, you go north and south. But their second down and 3 because they got 7 yards on first down. Josh Heupel came in from Oklahoma. He actually played there with Matt Wells' brother, and he knows this place really well.
Keaton will hand it off to Lawan Hunt. The sophomore gets stopped short of a first down by Jared Norris in on another Utah tackle. So 3rd down and short from inside the 15.
And I think this is 4 downs, so they're in good shape. Josh Heupel played with Luke Wells at Oklahoma. He and Matt have been good friends. He actually started as a player here at Weber State, so he's got a lot of history in this state, and he's been a great addition for Matt to bring in from Oklahoma with all of his experience. He's called plays in big games before. This crowd's not going to bother Josh Heupel.
Utah State, that play clock is starting to wind down on 3rd and 2, and Matt Wells is going to run to the official and call a timeout. That's a big play. You got to be fully organized And Chucky Keaton will walk to the sideline, and they'll get the play call right for a big third down. When we come back, Utah State on the move.
If these walls could talk, the tales they'd tell. They've witnessed legendary leaders inspire greatness on the field. These walls can talk, and we're telling their stories. We are Pac-12 Networks, broadcasting the next 100 years of record breakers, trailblazers, and the unparalleled rush of Pac-12 sports. Watch Pac-12 Networks, where champions play.
ESPN College Football is presented by Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Sandwiches and in part by Volkswagen. Isn't it time for German engineering?
Well, we do appreciate that spectacular Navy jump team, which used the cameras and gave us the footage of the skydive into Rice-Eccles Stadium on Patriot Day here on September 11th before the game. And it was spectacular on a beautiful night. The Wasatch Mountains off in the distance here in Salt Lake City, and the homestanding Utes for the 7-0 lead. Off to a real good start, but Utah State now has some momentum on offense with 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. Coach Mack Brown, a very big play coming up for the Aggies.
Yes, 2 penalties have really hurt Utah. They go ahead and make a first down on 3rd and 1. They have the holding call. They end up having to punt. And then the personal foul on Chucky Keaton, where they came in low and hit his right knee, gave him a first down on 3rd down. So those 2 penalties against Utah have given Utah State some momentum.
A 3rd down and 2. The ball spotted at about the 13-yard line, just inside. So it's a short 2 yards that Utah State needs, with Hunt behind Keaton in the backfield. And now he leaves the backfield. Keaton looking to run. He pitches it forward. What a play. And that will be a first down. The tight end Wyatt Houston came across the line and took that little pitch pass. That was executed nicely.
Great call. You look to the top of the screen. You've got all the receivers out there. It's like an unbalanced formation. They came back underneath for the shuffle play to the right side for the first down. Really good call by Josh Heupel.
And Chucky Keaton, he had to fit that one in. There was some traffic in there. That was well done.
Well, and the good thing is if he throws it into the ground, it's an incomplete pass. They've still got 4th and 2. So it was a real smart play and a safe play.
Well, as the final seconds tick off the clock, Utah State's trying to figure out, are they going to get a penalty called against them? And I think there is a difference. And Matt Wells, let's see what he's doing here. He was trying to get confirmation that he wasn't going to be penalized for a delay of game. And he was not penalized. Chucky Keaton is not 100%. He took a hit, but he and Utah State on the move at the end of one. Utah with the 7-0 lead. What a scene here in Salt Lake City as we get ready for the start of the second quarter. The Utes off to a quick start. They scored right away in this game, but since then, Utah State has settled in. Dave Fleming, Mack Brown, Allison Williams with you. And it's first down and 10 for the Aggies. Keaton hands it off to Hunt, who gets hit. And hit hard. Jason Fanaika with the hard tackle for a very short gain on first down. Now, another player is down. That's Hunter Dimmick, who is an important player for Utah. One of their best defensive players, maybe their best pass rusher.
Yes, he actually put pressure on Chucky Keaton earlier and forced the interception. And he's also a leader on this team.
So with Dimmick down, we are going to have a timeout on the field and step aside. We'll be back for second down for the Aggies after this.
And going to Starkville is not the easiest place in the world to play.
Well, lots of improvements from week 1 to week 2, and I think you could say that for the Aggies, who have second down, not quite goal to go here. Out of the injury timeout, 2nd and 9 for Chucky Keaton and company. And he will hand the ball off to Hunt, straight ahead running without much room. Got a couple.
Yeah, got yourself in a tough position here now with 3rd down and long. You're talking about 3rd and 9. You need to score a touchdown. In fact, they didn't score an offensive touchdown last week against Southern Utah. But you've got to come away with some points to give your offense confidence.
So they're trying to get in the end zone as an offense for the first time all year. They scored a touchdown on special teams last week in their very wobbly win over Southern Utah. But this drive started all the way back at the 15. Now they're inside Utah's 10.
You want to try to score, but keep the right to kick. No turnovers here. Looks like Utah's going to blitz. Changing the play.
Keaton with some pressure coming will lob it toward the end zone. Wide open touchdown. Lawan Hunt, and there is the first offensive touchdown for the Aggies this year. And Chucky Keaton can hardly even make it to the end zone to celebrate. He's still limping, but that was a heck of a play.
Yeah, he doesn't realize he's limping. Coach Whittingham's not very happy, obviously. They brought the blitz, and someone got confused. It was a hot route. Good call by number 20 on the defense. Marcus Williams got lost. He didn't see Hunt coming out at him, and all of a sudden a hot route that ends up being a score. Great call by Josh Heupel.
Brock Warren, who is the place kicker. Extra point up and good. And that has to make the Aggies feel good. They have tied this game. We're going to send it back to the studio, our first update of the night with Adnan Virk. Adnan? All right, thanks, Adnan. On a night for baseball, for football, for anything here in the Wasatch Mountains of Utah. What a scene. 112th meeting between these two old football rivals, one of the oldest rivalries in the sport. And the Aggies have come to play 7-7 after a long touchdown drive.
And these two have great respect for each other. Everybody said it would be a tight game. It is a rival game. We were concerned that Utah State couldn't take poor field position like they did on the last drive from the minus 15-yard line and take it down to score. But that should give their offense a tremendous amount of confidence.
The kickoff is deep in the end zone, and Utah's going to return it. It'll be Boobie Hobbs taking it out, and I'm not sure that was a great decision. He is tackled short of the 20-yard line. There's also a penalty flag down as well. So if that's against the Utes, this could be very poor field position for Utah.
During the return, holding number 87 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty. It's first down, Utah.
Well, the tight end who made the big holding penalty on the last offensive drive now a special teams penalty for Fakat Iloatonga. And Utah will be backed up inside their own 10-yard line to start this drive.
Special teams are things that both of these coaches really feel like are important. They put a tremendous amount of emphasis on it. That's the type penalty you can't have. They don't need to start from the minus 8-yard line.
Probably should have been a touchback anyway. Kick was so deep into the end zone.
Yes, poor decision and then a penalty.
Well, 1st and 10 from the 8, and they'll give it to their security blanket on offense, Devontae Booker, who squeezes through for maybe a couple yards.
It's really amazing what one key play can do. The 3rd down and 1, where Utah makes the first down. They have the holding penalty. They give an opportunity for Utah State to get the ball back and let them get the momentum now in the ball game.
It's totally changed the feeling of this game. 2nd and 9 for Utah. Wilson looking to pass, a little pump fake, and now scrambling. Wilson will just heave it out of bounds. He did take a hit. Utah fans thought that was an illegal hit, but no flag. LT Filianga, who transferred from Utah to Utah State. So you talk about the crossover of these.
For intentional grounding. The quarterback was out of the pocket, threw the ball beyond the line of scrimmage. It's 3rd down.
All the crossover between these two programs. There was no intentional grounding penalty either because he was outside the tackle box.
LT Filianga knew him well enough. He probably said something to him as he was getting back up.
They were teammates here in Salt Lake City. So now it's 3rd and 9 with this poor field position. Let's see how aggressive Utah's offense is. The play fake with pressure coming. Wilson gets away and now heaves it downfield. Incomplete. And here comes a flag. Jalen Davis with the coverage. Kenneth Scott was the target. The officials are talking about this, but that one's likely against Utah State.
Pass interference, defense, number 13, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So that is a huge penalty against Davis.
Well, and Jalen Davis is a mature player. He's got a lot of savvy, and you can't do that. That's a key mistake because it's going to be an incomplete pass. He's the top receiver. Captain Kenneth Scott. He has the good route, but it gets out of rhythm because the quarterback has to sprint to his left. There's no chance for the completion. Poor penalty as you look at Jalen Davis.
Now a fly sweep kind of action, the handoff, and a big hit right at the line of scrimmage. So the good tackle by the Aggies for a very short gain.
Utah had so much confidence in their first and second drive. Now they've got to get their momentum back with another first down.
2nd and 10 for the Utes. Wilson hands it off to Booker, who's got a hole. Dives across the 30-yard line. Jontrell Rockamore's been very active. He's the guy who came in, coach, to replace Marvin Evans, who was ejected for targeting. And at least so far, Rockamore, who is just a redshirt freshman from Texas, has played pretty well.
Well, the coaches told us yesterday they thought they had really good depth on both sides of the ball with these two football teams. We're seeing that now.
3rd and 5 for Utah. Wilson hands it off. Booker doesn't have anywhere to go. So that was an interesting play call, and Utah State read it nicely.
There's a lot of movement up front with the Utah State defense, and I think the offensive coaches from Utah thought they'd catch them up inside on a trap. If you see, they're trying to get penetration. They're moving up front, and they got enough penetration that when Moali got back into the backfield, he couldn't make his cut. It made him get off his track and gave Pursuit a chance to get there and stop him. Big play. Now the Ray Guy winner, Tom Hackett, has got to do a great job of changing field position.
He booms one low, a line drive kick back to about the 15. There will be a return here, and not a bad return out to the 30-yard line from Jalen Davis, who committed that penalty, but the Aggies got away with it. They get the ball back in a 7-7 game. University of Utah Cycling Club. Very few places better to do it than here in the Salt Lake City area. Out for a ride yesterday. Beautiful night here in the city up against the mountains. 7-7. Second quarter, 11:09 to go until halftime. Utah State getting the ball back. And for some news down on the sideline, let's go downstairs to Allison Williams.
Yeah, a couple guys battling to stay on the field, including Utah State's Chucky Keaton. He's obviously been bothered by that left knee, the hit he took. I saw him talk to a couple of his teammates about it, and the thing for him, he just tried to keep moving and stay loose on the sidelines. He was stretching, jogging a little bit. On the other side of the ball, Hunter Dimmick, they were looking at his right knee. He popped up off the table and said, guys, I feel fine, I promise you.
So we'll check on Dimmick, who does not look like he's in the game on this first down play. Keaton's going to run it, and he scrambles ahead, dives forward to get a gain of 5 on first down. Kylie Fitz, who is taking the place of Dimmick, ended up making the tackle.
Well, that answered our question about whether Chucky's well or not. He's not going to he may limp on and off. He's not going to limp when he has the football in his head.
I mean, he took a hit really on both knees, but the one that looked like when he was favoring it that was hurting him the most was that left knee, which has been the one that's been injured twice in the past. Play fake for Keaton, rolling right, and he's going to throw on the move. He's got a man, but it's incomplete. Not a perfect delivery intended for Tyler Fox. And I think Chucky knows he missed one there.
Another good call. You're 2nd down and 5. You've got all your plays available. You do a play action pass up inside to hold the linebackers. You had the guy there. Throw was a little bit off. We had a rule, Dave. Anytime a receiver can touch it, he ought to catch it. So if I'm the receiver coach, I'm saying, hey, get that ball. Help Chucky get started here with some confidence.
Well, 3rd down's been a big improvement for the Aggies. 1 of 15 last week, 3 of 4 so far tonight. This is 3rd and 5. Utah showing some pressure. And they rush 4 and get through right away. Keaton throws it behind his intended target. That's incomplete. And it will be 4th down. So intended for Fox, incomplete. Aggies with Keaton still favoring that leg. Utah State will punt the ball away.
A lot of pressure up inside by the Utah defense, and Chucky really didn't have a chance to sit in there, set his feet, and make the throw.
Aaron Dalton, the redshirt freshman punter who got a lot of practice in week 1. He punted 13 times in his first college game. He's going to punt the ball here. And a high punt. with no fair catch signal and an immediate hit. That was dangerous. Britton Covey with some courage and maybe too much of it. Tackle right away. 39-yard punt with no return. Well, ESPN College Football, you can stream every game live at home or on the go. Simply download the Watch ESPN app or visit watchespn.com. And it always comes in handy. College football season, we got so many games going on. Here in Salt Lake City, Utah getting the ball back with better field position this time, starting at their own 27, but a bad snap, and Wilson just will fall on the ball and take a big loss. He goes backwards 8 or 9 yards on first down.
Usually that responsibility is on the quarterback, even though it's a low snap. We always said he can handle the low when he can't handle the high snap. So Travis has got to keep his eyes on that. It may get you off your rhythm, but don't have the fumble. He did the smart thing when the ball's on the ground as a quarterback. Don't try to pick it up, fall on it, and go second down.
So it's 2nd and 18 now. So much for that good field position, or at least improved field position. With under 10 minutes to go until halftime of a tie game. Wilson with all kinds of time. Throws, and it's complete. Tyrone Smith with the catch. He gets a lot of that yardage plus a couple of yards back after it. All right, so we're talking about Watch ESPN and when you need it. How about tomorrow with all these games going on, not quite simultaneously. But you got Notre Dame, Virginia, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Oregon, Michigan State, LSU, Mississippi State, Boise State, BYU down the road in Provo. A lot of good college football tomorrow. So fire up the app. 3rd and 7 for the Utes. Wilson looking to throw. And he has the pass complete. Nice delivery out to Kenneth Scott. First down, Utah.
2 older players. Very good protection. Travis sits in the pocket. He puts the throw on the outside shoulder. Excellent catch by Kenneth Scott. Really good throw and catch by 2 guys that have worked on this for so many times in late afternoon.
So they needed 7. They got 9. Jalen Davis had good coverage there. That was just perfect execution by the Utah offense. Booker with the carry. Booker straight up the middle. Devontae Booker. First down, Utah. And another check in the studio with Adnan Burke.
Dave, thank you very much. I know you're a baseball guy, so I got to let you know Colby Lewis, the perfect game is over. Danny Valencia is the guy who broke it up with a double. Good news for Lewis. The Rangers still have the lead, 4-0 at the top of the 8th. Dave, back to you.
All right, so not quite perfection. Thank you, Adnan. 7-7 here. Not been perfect on either side, but the Utes are moving the ball again right near midfield, 1st and 10. Wilson, play fake. And he'll be hit as he throws. The pass is caught. Nice catch by the tight end. Fakai Loatonga, who has committed 2 holding penalties in this game. That was a good catch.
Looked like Travis had good protection. Then he had to step up inside. Very low throw. This is one that they're going to take to replay.
Yeah, and watching that first replay, I don't know if that one's going to count. And there is some ambiguity. The ball can touch the turf and still be a legal catch. But let's see if the turf was the reason he caught the ball, if we can tell. I'm not sure on that look. The evidence does have to be indisputable to overturn the call on the field.
That was going to be tough. His hands have to be under the ball, and it looks like the ball comes free there. You can see separation between his hand and the ball. I think we see this one overturned.
Yeah, now that's a good look from behind. I think that's our best look at it. And that looks to me like David Lambros, the replay official, would overturn this call.
Well, and Kyle looks like he saw it too. So the coach can usually tell that it was turned over. So now you got your offensive coaches over there talking about the next down. They're getting a play ready if it's complete. They're getting a play ready if it's incomplete. And obviously the down and distances are very different.
Yeah, so 2nd and 5 versus 2nd and 10. You would have 2 different play calls ready depending on how this ruling comes out.
And if the coaches in the box and the coaches on the sideline know that it's an incomplete pass, you're just talking about 2nd and 10.
Well, Kyle Whittingham, his team got off to such a good start in this game. Got the ball first, went right down the field, looked so impressive. The game has changed since then. Here's the call.
After reviewing the play, the ball hit the ground. It's an incomplete pass. It'll be 2nd and 10 at the 50-yard line. The ball is placed at the hash furthest from the press box. Please reset the game clock. 8 minutes, 9 seconds.
Brandon Cruz very much into the details of the explanation, which we appreciate. And it is 2nd and 10 for Utah.
Well, and I love instant replay because it makes sure that the team that's playing the best wins the game. Because that would have been a mistake. 2nd and 5 is much different than 2nd and 10 in this ball game.
Travis Wilson, 8 for 11, 71 yards so far in this game. Booker leaves the backfield and goes out as a wide receiver. Wilson's going to throw in that direction. The pass is caught by the tight end again. Kakai Loatonga. A gain of 5, right about the spot where the call was overturned.
Well, Matthias had 2 holding penalties, so he's trying to make a catch and help his football team. That was a tremendous one-handed catch, keeping his feet in bounds. And now you're back to 3rd down and 5 with a chance to make the first.
Into Utah State territory. Any chance this is 4-down territory for the Utes?
I wouldn't think so, because they're playing good defense.
And they have such a good punter who is a real weapon in this part of the field.
We used to say if it gets to 4th and 2, we may go for it. Anything more than that, we'll punt.
Wilson sprinting right on an option style play. He'll keep it and get the first down. And more. Travis Wilson to the 20, to the 15, tackled inside the 10. Jalen Davis saved the touchdown, but what a play by the quarterback.
Very good play. They caught them on the blitz. Travis is kind of a sneaky runner. You don't think he's got great speed, but at 6'7", he just makes yards. And with those big steps, it doesn't take him long to get down there. 38-yard run on 3rd down and 5. It was blocked perfectly. They miss a couple of tackles. Then Jalen Davis has to take him down to save the touchdown. Big play for Utah, especially with 7:13 left to go in the half.
Utah looking to go back ahead. And they will fake the handoff. Wilson keeps it to the 5 and diving forward inside the 4. And Travis Wilson's a little beat up after these last couple of plays. And this time he is down. And his teammates signaling to the sideline to get somebody in to look at Wilson.
On the field. Injury timeout.
Well, that is not good news for the Utes. And right away you could see one of his teammates
Timeout on the field for media.
Make a strong signal. So we'll figure out what happened to Wilson when we come back. Timeout on the field. 7-7 the score. Seven to 7 the score. The starter, the senior quarterback Travis Wilson, is on the sideline and not feeling great. And it was the long run where we think he got hurt. Watch the end of this play. He lands right on his left shoulder. And he came up sort of wincing from that hit. The next play he did run. And we didn't see a big hit here, but as soon as he fell to the ground, he grabs at that shoulder area. So he comes out. The backup, Kendall Thompson, is in on 2nd and goal. And he hands the ball off to Booker, who gets to the corner, cuts upfield into the end zone, touchdown. What a great individual effort from Devontae Booker. That play was not working the way Utah wanted it to, and Booker took it into the end zone anyway.
Devontae's a power runner up inside, but there he used his speed to outrun the pursuit. Took a little bit of a dip back so he could get around the corner and stick it in the end zone.
4-yard touchdown for Booker. That's his 2nd touchdown of the season. 9-play drive, 13-7 with the extra point coming here from Andy Phillips. Good snap, good hold, kick is up and good. And that was an impressive run by their senior star, Devontae Booker.
This is an option. It's the same speed sweep that Travis scored on the other end, except Kendall hands it to him. He, again, dipped outside, outran the coverage, which shows his really good speed, not just his power, and then he sticks it in the end zone. That's a big play, and now Utah State has to go and answer before the half.
I mean, with the backup quarterback in, and it wasn't even a clean exchange there to Booker. He made sure they got the touchdown. So Utah back in front, 14-7. We figure there'll be a lot of those this year for Devontae Booker. One of the top running backs in the country. 6:46 to go until halftime, and he's been effective on the ground. 11 rushes, better than 5 a carry, and now into the end zone for the first time tonight.
Well, and Kendall has been around. Kendall Thompson's a senior. It's not like you're putting a guy that's never played in a football game. So if Travis can't come back, Kendall Thompson's played enough that he should be able to continue and move forward with the offense.
They played at Oklahoma, and then after the transfer, he started 2 games last year. Now that one is out of bounds. So that's a mistake on the kickoff. It did not quite make it to the end zone.
Kickoff out of bounds. Kicking team. Ball's placed at the 35-yard line. First down, Utah State.
Well, for Andy Phillips, who is considered maybe the best place kicker in the country, it hasn't been a perfect start to his year. He missed 2 field goals last week against Michigan. Utah got away with that. Now penalty on the kickoff.
Well, and that's the second penalty. They had the holding penalty that backed them up earlier on the kickoff return, and it's just unexcusable for a kicker to kick the ball out of bounds, because now you bring it out to the 35-yard line and you give Utah State great field position with 6:46 left to go in the half. Now Utah State needs to take it down and score, and they deferred to start the game, so they get the ball to start the second half.
75 degrees, beautiful night in Salt Lake City, the 112th meeting between these two in-state rivals. Dave Fleming, Mac Brown, Allison Williams. Chucky Keaton in the offense for the Aggies, back on the field. Play clock down to 4. Swing pass out to the left, and nothing there. Hunt is dropped immediately. He lost yardage. Justin Thomas, who had the big game against Michigan, he was the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Week last week. Had a interception return for a touchdown that sort of sealed the game against the Wolverines. Made a nice play there.
Yes, his 55-yard interception last week closed the game against Michigan. Great play for him here. Utah's defense needs to get a stop.
2nd and 11. Keaton looked left, or looked right, throws back left. And that is Devontae Robinson. You see the quickness from him. He's the guy they're leaning on to be their big play receiver with the suspension of Hunter Sharp with the injury to Brandon Swindle. He got that one out to about the 39-yard line to set up 3rd down. And now Robinson is slow to get up.
Coming on the field for injury.
He does finally get up, but he's hurting. So already missing those 2 guys we just mentioned. Now Robinson will limp to the sideline. And they're without a lot of their top weapons. So for Matt Wells, just looking for somebody who can make a play at that receiver spot.
The suspensions have hurt them, but also injuries have hurt them very early in the season.
Now JoJo Natson, who was a big play guy last year, dismissed from the program, left the program. The suspension of Hunter Sharp, the injury to Brandon Swindle. And now Robinson off for this 3rd down and 5 play. Keaton in the shotgun. 4-man rush. And he'll scramble, looking downfield. He's going to run, and Keaton will have just enough speed, even with that knee hurting him, to get the 1st down.
Chucky Keaton's a competitor. He's a tough player. Nobody open. Utah loses contain because they chipped him with the back. He stepped up and helped block the rusher. Chucky sees the 10-yard span he's got to run for the 1st down. Big 1st down. Keeps the drive going.
Out to the 45, Utah State, with the clock moving, under 5.5 to go until halftime. Keaton throws again. Nice delivery right there. The receiver, Zach Van Leeuwen, the redshirt freshman. His 2nd catch of the game. This is what we're talking about with the loss of the big playmakers. Natson, who is no longer in the program, and especially on special teams, he was just a dynamic player. And Hunter Sharp, 66 catches, 7 touchdowns last year. Suspended for the first 2 games of this season. Nowhere to go for Lalon Hunt on 1st down, or on 2nd down. It's short, rather. Kylie Fitz with the tackle. So now it's 3rd down for Utah State. Third down and what looks like about a half a yard.
This could very well be 4-down territory, as long as you don't lose yards on this play.
Quickly to the line and under center, the handoff. Hunt will not get there. Gianni Paul with the huge tackle. And that lost about a half a yard, so now Utah State may have to think about it.
Got your decision to make. You can fake a punt. You can punt it to them, but you've got 4:26 left to go, and you'd rather not have Utah with the ball.
What a play by Gianni Paul.
Gianni Paul's a guy that attacks. He had 14 tackles last week against Michigan. He saw it. It's the same play they ran on short yardage with a quick huddle last time. He makes a tremendous play that could change this game.
Well, 4th and 1, and they are punting the ball away. So, man, that was just a huge play. Again, no fair catch signal. And the return out to about the 15-yard line. Utes defense holds. Utah gets the ball when we come back, leading 14-7.
I'm Adnan Burr. Coming up on our halftime report, the first top 10 matchup of the season. Oregon against Michigan State. Danny Cannell and Joey Galloway on why Vernon Adams will be also very key. Phil Steele with some stealing money, some excellent picks when it comes to picking against the spread and other advice. And also Serena, an absolute shocker. If you're a tennis fan, still can't believe what happened today. Dave, back to you.
All right, Adnan, we'll look forward to that as we get set for this Utah possession, starting at their own 16-yard line after the defense holds. It was 2nd and short right around midfield, and they forced the punt, and it is still the backup quarterback Kendall Thompson in the game, handing it off to Devontae Booker. A short gain on 1st down. Coach, Utah State has 2 timeouts. Do they consider using a timeout if they're thinking about getting the ball back for their own offense late in the first half?
Normally you wouldn't use a timeout unless it's 3rd down and long, and you feel like you get your stop there.
Well, Kendall Thompson, who ran the last play of the previous drive after the starter Travis Wilson came out of the game with an apparent shoulder or collarbone type injury. 2nd and 7 for the Utes, and a play fake. Thompson, the lefty, pressured, and he can run. Thompson scrambles ahead for a 1st down.
Very good play with his feet. It was a play action pass, nobody open. Kendall saw the hole and ran for the 1st down.
Well, that is a big part of his game. Thompson on 1st down. Utah some fairly quick tempo. That pass, not a great delivery to the tight end. Fakai Loatonga. Short gain on 1st down. Clock continues to roll. On the flip side, Utah has that kicker who's got such tremendous range. And I think the Utes feel like almost if they cross midfield, they're getting close to field goal range.
Well, normally if you get it out past the 35-yard line, then you open it up and start going no huddle.
2nd and 9. Thompson hands it off. Booker cutting it upfield. You can see the power. We saw the speed on the touchdown run. Now the power from Devontae Booker. I mean, this is a good Utah State defense. It's strong, it's experienced, it's physical up front, and he's having a nice first half.
It is. You're sitting here 3rd down and 2. You've got 1 timeout left, 2 minutes and 6 seconds. If you make this 1st down, go past the 35, then you'll probably open it up and see them speed the tempo.
Now there's Andy Phillips. Not getting ready quite yet. Thompson sprinting left. The throw is almost intercepted. A great break on the ball by Jalen Davis. And nearly picked off. That would have been huge. Instead, it's 4th down. The clock does stop with 1:50 to go until halftime, and that will force a Utah punt.
Jalen Thompson's been sitting on that bench the whole game. He comes in. He's a little cold. The Utah staff's probably hesitant to turn him loose. But this was a break because it's a great break by on the ball by Jalen Davis. If he intercepts that one, short field for Utah State.
So now they'll lean on their punter, Tom Hackett. Aggies have 2 returners. Hackett booms one end over end. Right about the 20. It'll be taken by Davis, who just made that play on defense. Not a lot of room to return. Tackled short of the 25. 44 yards on the punt, 5 yards on the return for the guy who was responsible for stopping the Utah offense. And now the Aggies offense with the 2 timeouts, with 1:49 back on the field. And we'll see how aggressively they try to get down the field and score points.
Again, normally what they'll do is Chucky will have a screen, a quarterback draw, a quick out, something to try to get the ball up to the 35 or 40. Then you go no huddle. You speed it up. You've got 2 timeouts. You need to get at least 3 points out of this drive, and then you get the ball to start the 3rd quarter.
Well, it hadn't been spectacular. 7 of 11, 64 yards and a touchdown with that interception. But it has been an improvement over week 1 for the Aggies offense. Tight end Houston in motion. They'll swing it out to the right side. The pass is dropped. Devontae Robinson, who has come back in the game, and you can see he's still trying to loosen up his left shoulder. So he may not be 100%, and now it looks like he's going to come out.
You're probably pretty conservative on the 2nd and 10 call now. You go back to a similar play call to try to get it to third manageable.
A minute 45 to go until halftime. Utah State with the ball down 7. A low snap, flag thrown, that quick completion, and a missed tackle. Nice move by the freshman Tyler Fox. We'll see who the penalty is against. But if the play stands, that's a first down out to the 35. Penalties have been big in this game at some key moments.
Offside, defense, number 51, lined up in the neutral zone. This penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
So Jason Fanaika lined up in the neutral zone. They'll decline that penalty, and it is a first down, and they're right at that spot where you just said a moment ago, okay, if you get your offense to the 35, you feel like you can be a little more aggressive.
Yeah, 139 with 2 timeouts is eternity in college football.
I mean, you got a 5th-year senior quarterback. Presumably, you trust Chucky Keaton to make the right decisions. With the running back Hunt alongside him. Keaton all kinds of time, throws short middle, pass is caught by that tight end out right near the first down mark, but they spot him short, Wyatt Houston, so that means the clock moves. Aggies will get the play call and get to the line fairly quickly. On 2nd and short, nice hole for Hunt, who makes a tackler miss, gets into Utah territory, and now the clock stops on the Utah State first down.
And you try to get the ball spotted. There is an injured player on the field, so it gives Utah State time to make a call.
Injury timeout.
And that's Jared Norris. So they've already lost their starting quarterback, and this guy is almost like the quarterback of their defense. Their senior middle linebacker, Jared Norris, one of the captains. And he's holding that either shoulder or arm. But now pointing towards his head, so who knows? He's going to get up and walk off. He is pointing towards that shoulder, upper arm.
And Dave, this is a great break. You always hope a young man's okay, but this is a great break for Utah State because they've got time now to call a sequence of plays. So you could even see 2 plays called at once. So they're not going to huddle, but they've got to go fast. They're still holding the 2 timeouts. There's a minute 13 left, so they can definitely get in field goal range, and they'll be smart here, but they'll probably take a deep shot.
Unlike Utah, the Aggies don't have an ultra-reliable kicking game. Brock Warren is a junior place kicker. He's got a pretty strong leg. But they would like to get as far downfield as they possibly could if it's going to be a kick. Keaton steps up, and now Chucky's going to run. He's got the first down and more. Goes into a slide inside the 35. So Utah State on the move, under a minute to go, again in that hurry-up mode.
That's why everybody's looking for mobile quarterbacks. Everybody was covered, protection breakdown. He got to step up inside and run for another first down.
That was 14 yards from Chucky Keaton. Back to pass. He throws. Pass caught middle. Down to the 25, and they will spot it short. Utah State very quickly and decisively uses one of their 2 final timeouts to stop the clock.
Timeout. Utah State, their 2nd and a half. It's a 30-second timeout.
Well, so far, Coach, this has been an extremely well-managed 2-minute type drive from the Aggies.
Yes, it's exactly what they want. They'll probably save their timeout till the end if they have to kick. But now what they can do is throw the ball. They can still mix in a run with 45 seconds. But they've taken the momentum of this ball game into halftime if they can get a score.
Well, now that's Jake Thompson, who is the guy who is warming up on the sideline. Now Thompson is not their primary field goal kicker. That is Brock Warren. He is the guy who in the last couple of years has been used for long distance type field goal tries. So who knows, he may be just getting loose just to stay loose on the sideline. But Matt Wells has a chance to regroup with his team on the sideline. On 2nd and short, 45 seconds to go. In what I think has been an overall positive first half for a big underdog on the road.
I think it's exactly where they want it to be, and especially if they can take points into half. What they're going to try to do is score. They'd rather not kick, but they got to be smart and save the right to kick. Don't turn the ball over. No sacks.
A 2nd and a yard. It's Hunt in the game with Keaton in the backfield, and a bad snap. And Keaton's going to pick up the ball and heave it downfield. It is out of bounds. Caught for what would have been an interception, but clearly out of bounds. And Chucky, that's a hero play from Chucky Keaton to avoid what would have been a crippling loss.
Yes, that's a senior play. It was a tough snap. It was up high. Chucky still probably could have caught the ball, but being very aware it was a pass play. Your linemen aren't downfield. Throw it in the direction of a receiver and get it out of bounds.
Well, now it's 3rd and 1, so Utah State does have to first and foremost make sure they get a first down if they want to keep this drive going.
He also avoided a sack, and the clock stopped running.
Tight end Houston in motion, and they will hand the ball off. No, it's an option play. Keaton's going to keep it. First down and more, and he gets out of bounds inside the 15. That was executed well by the Aggies. 11 yards. 31 seconds remaining on the clock with still that one timeout left, and they have the ball at the Utah 15.
Excellent play. Option to the right outside. He had a read that he could either hand it off for the first down, which would stop the clock, or run it up the field. But now he steps out of bounds, and they've got plenty of time to get their play call in.
Well, I think the sign of a well-coached team, these drives, late clock situations, well organized, executed nicely so far. First down. Keaton looking for the end zone. And it is caught. Is he inbounds? Yes! Touchdown to Utah State. Zach Van Leeuwen with a flag in at the end. So everybody has to wait and see. Was he inbounds?
Pass interference. Defense. Number 16. The penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Well, what a play for Utah State to get the touchdown with 24 seconds on the clock. Now, I would imagine they're going to look at this upstairs. Let's see if we can tell.
It was a fade. It was very well covered. He pushed him outside. His foot's in.
Yep.
It was a back shoulder throw again where the receiver could turn to the outside and get the ball. Really good protection. Outstanding call by Josh Heupel. A lot of momentum now with Utah State going into halftime.
Well,
excellent drive.
The
what
drive
a drive
that started, Mac, at the 24-yard line with under 2 minutes to go, and they go 76 yards, and we saw the replay. That call is going to stand. He was inbounds. That's a touchdown.
And Dave, in talking to the Utah coaches yesterday, they said this would be a fight. They thought this would be a really good ball game. These teams know each other. They respect each other. What a throw by Chucky Keaton. That drive gave him the confidence that he can come back out and play well in the second half.
This is a totally different Utah State offense than the one that struggled so badly in week 1.
Well, they've been cussed all week. I can promise you the fans are mad at them. They scored 12 points, no offensive touchdowns. The coaches could coach them hard. Kids have a tremendous amount of pride in college football, and these guys worked hard all week to come out here and show a packed house in Salt Lake City that last week is not who they are.
That's the redshirt freshman Zach Van Leeuwen, who's been a nice part of the offense here tonight, looking for playmakers on the outside. His first career receptions, and now his first career touchdown, assuming the call stands.
You've got suspensions. You've got injuries. Someone that they didn't talk about in pregame has to step up and make a play like that young man did.
So we'll get the official call here.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Well, they didn't confirm it. I think they could have confirmed it. Looked pretty clear to me. But the call stands, and Chucky Keaton and his teammates can celebrate a really impressive 2-minute drive. Best of both worlds. They get in the end zone, and they took almost all the time remaining off the clock. Only 24 seconds left to go with the extra point pending here. And it is Brock Warren who is the place kicker. The last few years, these have not been automatic for the Aggies. So far, so good, though, for Brock Warren. The kick is up and good, and that ties the game. First career touchdown for that guy, the freshman Zach Van Leeuwen. And Chucky Keaton, he looked pretty healthy on this drive, didn't he?
He really did. He has so much confidence. It's even a pass interference call, and the young man hangs in there, turns his shoulders back, keeps his eyes on the ball, is aware of what's outside of him, puts his foot down inbounds. Great play by him.
Oh, Matt Wells, yeah, he earned that fist pump.
Well, he's got great momentum going into halftime. As long as they kick the ball, they'll probably kick a squib kick here and keep it down. There's only 24 seconds left for Utah. They've got one timeout, but they're probably going to take that into the halftime. And then you've got Chucky with the ball in his hands to come out and start the second half with a lot of momentum and confidence.
Tying a Utah State record for career touchdown passes. That was number 60 in what has at times been a brilliant career for Chucky Keaton. It's just been so injury plagued. And if you're a fan of college football, I mean, you just have to be happy that a player who has dealt with so much adversity is back on the field and playing well. That will be a touchback for Utah. So ball at the 25. Without their starting quarterback, you wonder whether Kyle Whittingham will just take a knee and go regroup in the locker room. Kendall Thompson, the second string quarterback with Travis Wilson out of the game. We haven't gotten any specific injury news on Travis Wilson. We know it was some sort of left arm shoulder problem. Well, we'll see if Utah even wants to run a play.
The other thing that will happen at halftime, if Travis is not able to come back, it'll give the offensive coaches a chance to sit down with Kendall Thompson, get a game plan for him, and go over all the reads and things where they can open it up with him in the second half.
Well, they are in shotgun. They're going to hand the ball off to Devontae Booker. And Utah State read that well. So a gain of a yard or two. And Utah is not going to use a timeout, so they're going to let the clock roll. Kyle Whittingham takes off the headset and is shaking his head. Utah looked so good at the start of the half, but the Aggies of Utah State, who will get the ball at the start of the second half, they took the momentum of this game on the road. Now we're going to go to Adnan Virk, Danny Cannell, Joey Galloway. It's the college football halftime report. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Jimmy John's here in Salt Lake City. And perhaps a surprise, the underdog Aggies of Utah State and Chucky Keaton on the road are tied with the 24th ranked Utah Utes. Dave Fleming, Mac Brown with you. And, Coach, you said right at the top, if Utah State had a chance to win this game, Chucky Keaton had to look like the old Chucky Keaton, particularly on that final drive of the first half. That's exactly who he looked like.
He's done everything that he's done in the previous two games with Utah to give him a tough game. He's good with his feet. Nobody's open. You see him run for a first down here, a key first down. He's getting confidence. Now the zone read. The defensive end comes down on the play. He gets the ball up, filling out of bounds, and then he throws the fade back shoulder ball in the end zone for the touchdown. Gives them tremendous momentum going into halftime.
So Utah State not only tied the game, but now they get the ball to start the third quarter. 14-14 after the touchback, and Allison Williams on the sideline with a little more about Chucky Keaton.
Yeah, guys, I asked head coach Matt Wells if he was doing okay physically. He said he is all right. He said he's mentally so strong and just continues to go out there and make plays with his feet. As for Utah State's defense, he felt like they settled down after that first drive. They did miss some tackles on the perimeter. Need to make sure they're getting off the field on third down, and also need to make sure there aren't missed tackles on the perimeter, like I said, and they've missed a few opportunities for a sack, guys.
All right, well, the Aggies looked wobbly at the start of the game. Utah went right down the field. They had the ball first, scored a touchdown. Since then, I think that word settled down is appropriate.
Well, there were some key penalties, and Travis Wilson getting hurt really changed momentum as well.
And so we'll have to see whether Wilson's going to play here. Keaton faked the fly sweep and surges straight ahead to about the 29-yard line. And we have spotted Travis Wilson at the very end of halftime coming out of the locker room. And you can see he will not be coming back in this game. And we thought it was a shoulder, collarbone, something like that, in a sling and not in uniform.
Tough deal for Travis. He's been hurt before. He's been here a long time. Hopefully it's not a long-term injury.
He was playing well tonight, and that makes the challenge even greater for Utah. 2nd and 6. Play fake, and that pass complete by the redshirt freshman Zach Van Leeuwen, stopped about a yard short of the first down. He had a big first half. We were asking the question that they have anybody with the injury and the suspensions to their wide receiver core to step up and make a play, and that's the guy who did it.
He's done a tremendous job stepping up, but Chucky's gaining confidence every play, and as he gains confidence, this entire team does. Now, this Utah fan base that I've heard about, how loud they are, they're going to stand up and be strong.
Quick snap and very close. It's going to depend on the spot, but I don't think he got there. Lawan Hunt trying to jump over the pile. He did not. That's 4th down. So that's the 2nd time on 3rd and short. The Aggies have been stopped, and in their own territory, Utah State is not going to go for it. They're going to punt the ball away.
That's a huge stop. Now, once again, here's an opportunity that Utah State might look at a fake punt because you're 4th down in inches. And I used to go for these because I didn't think you could make 6 inches, Dave. You weren't going to win the game. So let's see if they fake it or go for it. Looks like they're going to go. They're going to punt.
Aaron Dalton is the punter. Britton Covey is back to receive. It's kind of a low punt, and he runs up and takes it, trying to get away from the special teams coverage unit, and could not do it. Devin Centers ultimately made the tackle, 36 yards on the punt. No return, so that's disappointing for Utah State. 3rd and short. Did not convert. Nice job by the Utah defense.
Yes, with Travis out at quarterback, the Utah defense is going to have to change the momentum. They're going to have to step up, try to shut Utah State out the 2nd half, and give them a chance for Kendall Thompson to get the offense going.
Kendall Thompson, who has playing experience. His dad, Charles, was an all-time great quarterback at Oklahoma, and he started his career at Oklahoma, transferred to Utah, started a couple games last year, keeps it after the play fake, and he's got some mobility. Kendall Thompson finally goes down across the 35, around the 37, 38-yard line. Nice gain on 1st down.
Utah has a tremendous coaching staff. They've got older guys that have been around a long time. They're going to make really good adjustments at halftime and give themselves a chance to improve this offense the 2nd half.
And you made that point going into halftime. They had that time to get this backup quarterback ready for the 2nd half. What a move by Booker, but could not get away from the second chance. Nick Vigil, who is their star on defense, with a heck of a play.
Big 3rd down and 5, 4.5. This is one that they need to convert so they can get confidence in Thompson and try to keep the ball.
Nick Vigil, we've seen him in his career at running back, but now a stalwart on defense. His brother Zach was an All-American type player last year, now playing in the NFL. Nick is a junior and expected to have a big season. 3rd and 4 for Utah. Thompson in the pocket, will throw middle, caught for a 1st down. Nice delivery to that true freshman Britton Covey.
I think Britton Covey's going to be a fan favorite at Utah. He's tough, he's smart, he can fly, he was a quarterback, and he will stick his head in there and make a catch.
Well, they were telling us before the game he's about 5'8", 160 pounds. Midway through his junior year of high school, his high school team converted him to quarterback, and he never lost a game. Won 2 state championships, had never played quarterback before.
Big 1st down.
And he has adjusted immediately to the college game. Booker gets the carry. Booker cuts middle. There wasn't a whole lot of room there, and still Devontae Booker got 4 yards, tackled by Jordan Nielsen.
And we can see the game plan is a lot more suited to the skill sets of Kendall Thompson now. They've got play action. They've got misdirection. He's already run the ball a couple of times. So a great job by the Utah offensive staff of settling down and trying to get some plays that Kendall Thompson feels more comfortable with.
With their starter Travis Wilson hurt on the sideline. Booker makes that first man miss and staggers ahead to get positive yards. Not many of them, but he got 2 when there wasn't much there. Into Utah State territory.
And with your backup quarterback in the game, you want to keep Chucky Keaton on that sideline. So they may slow it down a little bit. They'll run the ball more. They'll have a better mix. But they're going to play defense and try to run the ball and hit some play action deep.
Well, Covey comes out of the game now for Utah on 3rd and 3. Thompson in a pistol-style formation with Booker right behind him, very close. Thompson, play fake. Looking to pass. On the move, Thompson. It'll be close. He stretched that ball ahead, and now we'll see where they spot him. At least on an initial look, he's short. So they spot him well short. He tried to stretch the football out, but it's 4th down. Well, Kyle Whittingham on the sideline was not happy with that spot, but no indication that they're going to look at it up top. It's 4th and 1, and Utah has kept the offense on the field. Now the clock stops.
Was a ball carrier, was short of the line to gain. This play is under review.
And it's not a challenge by Coach Whittingham. It is a review from the booth upstairs. So they're going to take a look and see if the spot was the correct one. I mean, these are so difficult if you don't have the absolute perfect camera angle. You see Thompson, I mean, the foot goes out of bounds short. He was stretching that ball ahead to the first down mark.
These calls are so key to winning and losing a football game.
This is already our 6th review in this one. So the replay booth has been active, and generally they've done a good job. And it's just hard to know. When do they rule him out of bounds? Where was the ball when they rule him out of bounds?
And usually if it's that close, they're not going to overturn it.
I think these are tough. On a play where, say, it's when is the knee down, where is the ball when the knee is down, it's a little more suited to a replay review. That kind of play, I think it's tough for the replay official.
On a good note for the Utah offensive staff, they've got a chance now to talk about their 4th and 1 call.
And it looks like they want to go for it if the ruling is not in their favor. On the 46-yard line, they needed to get to the 45 for the first down.
We had a rule, anytime it was 4th and 2 or less on your side of the 50, you went for the first down.
I like that rule.
We did, and when we made it, we kept doing it. And if you ask the offense,
after reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. It's 4th down.
Well, and you can see why Utah's not happy about it. But again, I think what we were saying is true. The call was not confirmed. It just stands. It's hard to overturn that kind of play on a replay look. So now it is 4th and 1, and we'll see what Utah wants to do.
You could go with a different snap count to try to pull them off because you're a 4th and 1 and get the defense to jump because they stem a lot. So we might see the change up. We could see a long count and no play. Let's see what they do.
Thompson, the quarterback. And they are going to run a play. Booker straight ahead. Powerful running, and I think he got there. He ends up getting shoved backwards, but that should be a first down. And it is a first down. It was not easy, but he got the yard they needed.
Key plays like this, your star players got to step up and take over with confidence. They chose to run behind the big offensive line up inside. You've got hat on hat. There's really no crease. He gets stopped short of the first down marker, pushes forward for the first down.
So 1st and 10 Utah. That is a big conversion. And they'll give it to Booker once again. Booker dragged down inside the 45 to about the 43. Got a yard or so. John Taylor made the play. John Taylor, who was a part of a real scary incident. There were 4 players for Utah State involved in a real serious car accident during the summertime, and John was one of them and was hurt. And the Aggies are thrilled that he's back playing. Travis Seefeld, who's expected to be an anchor in the middle of their defensive line with injuries from that car accident, he will likely miss the entire season. 2nd and 9 for the Utes. Kendall Thompson, the backup, because Wilson is hurt, with the play fake. Flag thrown. Thompson pressured. He goes down. And another flag in the backfield. So there was one toward the sideline in the secondary. Kyler Fackrell got there. And then a flag in the area where you expect holding. If the sack stands, that's the first one that either defense has gotten in this game.
On the play. Holding. Offense. Number 52. Holding. Defense. Number 1. These fouls offset. Replay 2nd down at the previous spot.
Well, they had really good protection to start with. I thought it was a coverage sack. After you go back and review it, they were holding. So that's why the receiver couldn't get open.
Yeah, Daniel Gray committed the hold. 2nd and 9 for the Utes. Booker and Poole both in the backfield. It's Poole who goes in motion, and it'll be Booker with the catch out of the backfield. Booker on the move inside the 35, and he gets the first down. Devontae Booker, who is not just a runner, an excellent pass catcher out of the backfield.
Well, with Travis Wilson out of the ball game, they've changed the offense so it fits Kendall Thompson, but they're also giving it to their go-to guy.
1st and 10, Utah. Impressive drive here after the defense made the stop and forced the punt. This will be the 10th play of the drive. Booker out of the backfield. They'll swing it out to him. Left side. Nice cut. Gets to the 30 or close to it for a 3-yard gain.
And Dave, this goes back to the Utah defense. They got this started because they stopped the 3rd down and 1, or Utah State would have continued their drive. They stopped it. Now the offense has got momentum. Again, give a lot of credit to those offensive coaches at halftime.
2nd and 7 for Utah. Now well into their field goal range with their All-American kicker Andy Phillips. Thompson keeps it and throws it. Covey inside the 20, still on his feet, the true freshman. 5'8", 160 pounds, but tough to tackle.
Great execution by Kendall Thompson. You've actually got 3 reads. It's a zone read to Booker. He comes up and sees the safety come out of the secondary, and he throws it out to Covey for the first down. Very good play by Kendall Thompson. You can see him gaining confidence now from the coaches and with his team as he continues this drive.
Now you can run forward and throw the ball as long as you stay behind the line of scrimmage, which he did.
Impossible play to defense.
Yeah,
defensive coaches hate it.
Now Booker will go wide right. Empty backfield for Thompson. In the pocket, looking to throw toward the end zone. Flag thrown, incomplete. But I think that one's going against the defense. Intended for Kenneth Scott. There's a lot of contact. Tyler Floyd, Jalen Davis, both were there.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 15. 15-yard penalty, places the ball at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
So ball at the 2, 1st and goal for Utah.
Well, and you get matchups during the ball game that are really, really important. And you've got 6'3", your captain, on 5'9", Tyler Floyd. And that's the matchup that the offensive coaches try to get. Very good throw by Kendall Thompson.
So now the part of the field where you do expect the big guy, Devontae Booker, who's behind Thompson on 1st and goal. Booker, no, it's Thompson, the keeper. End zone touchdown. Well, experienced backup quarterback with Travis Wilson hurt, and it's paying off for Utah.
Well, and you can see the difference in the second half play calling for Kendall Thompson. The coaches had a chance to go in. They sat down with him. Now Kendall's got confidence. The offense has got confidence. Once again, he's up inside. It's the zone read. They bring the backside guy around to take contain out of it, and he steps in untouched for the touchdown. A lot of confidence now on that Utah sideline.
Oh, that was impressive. Extra point up and good. So the Utes. Kendall Thompson looking like the starter, though. And his teammate Travis Wilson pumped as Utah goes back ahead 21-14. City for week 1. Michigan lost his first game as the Michigan coach. That's game day tomorrow, 9 Eastern on ESPN. Touchback and back to a timeout here from Rice Eccles. Utah, 24th ranked team in the country with a 7-point lead. A flashback to 2002. This beautiful football stadium was the host stadium for the opening and closing ceremonies of the Winter Olympics. Rice Eccles Olympic Stadium. You still see the Olympic torch outside on a beautiful night in Salt Lake City. A stadium with some history, not just football history. And this rivalry game, which has tons of history, 112 meetings between Utah and Utah State. The 24th ranked team in the country with the big loud home crowd on hand with an impressive drive to take the lead back, and now Utah State will have the ball starting at their own 25.
Yeah, 12-play drive, 69 yards, 6 minutes and 35 seconds taken off the clock. Now Utah State has to respond. They have to answer and get some points out of this drive.
14th most played rivalry in the history of college football. And we've got a good one tonight. 6:35 to go, third quarter. Play fake on first down. Keaton pass deflected. Kylie Fitz got a hand on it, knocked it down at second down.
Good play by Kylie. He's trying to contain a really good runner, run pass guy, really good athletic quarterback. Bats the ball down. Once again, he does a good job with his feet. He's containing him. He pulled Chucky up. He didn't leave his feet till the end. Bats the ball down, 2nd 10.
Utah, a team that prides itself on pressure, and Kyle Whittingham's talked a lot about that. We need sacks. We need batted balls. Chucky Keaton will get 3, maybe close to 4 yards on second down, but a 3rd and long coming up. And this is where Utah leans on that pass rush.
Yes, and you're not going to get a lot of sacks against a quarterback like Chucky Keaton because he can avoid the rush and he can run outside or inside. So it's really, really hard, as much as they do misdirection and play action, to get guys to him. Big 3rd down.
Utah does not have a single sack this year. Second half of week 2. 3rd and 7, still time on the play clock. Keaton with time, throws, and incomplete. Intended for Andrew Rodriguez. It's 4th down, and now look at Chucky. He is not moving well. It's been a problem in this game.
Part of it could be that he stood for the long drive. 6:35. Watch the running back. He helps the right tackle chip the defensive end. Phillips as he's coming. Chucky did not step through that throw, so we'll have to monitor his health as we go forward.
Yeah, that was not a great throw, and you can see why. Another punt for Aaron Dalton. W just does not want to signal a fair catch, and at some point he's going to have to learn how to fair catch the ball. Nice special teams play by Painter and Utah State. Utes get the ball back when we come back, leading 21-14.
For the Oregon football players, even though school doesn't start back up until September. Heather Cox telling me that the Oregon coaches are giving their players SAT-like tests to quiz their knowledge and readiness with the offense. So Michigan State certainly learned something from their matchup last year with the Ducks. They need to sub on defense more and try to use their depth.
Handoff on first down for Utah. And a game across the 25 for Devontae Booker. And Coach, the final score of last year's meeting in Eugene was not indicative of how closely that game. That was a very close game against Marcus Mariota and the Oregon Ducks in Eugene.
It was, and Michigan State had to travel to a different time zone. They had to play on turf when they're normally on grass. Oregon has that situation tomorrow.
Yeah, so it gets flipped around. Utah with the ball and a 7-point lead. Kendall Thompson, the backup quarterback, in. The starter Travis Wilson hurt, and he will not play for the remainder of this game. And they're going to feed the ball to number 23 Booker. Close, but not to the first down, short by a couple yards.
And now the Utah State defense has been on the field 6.5 minutes on the last drive, and they're pounding the ball to Booker now.
Yeah, a couple 3-and-outs from the Utah State offense at the start of this second half, and that has meant more pressure on the Aggies defense. Chance for a stop here on 3rd and 2. Poole will empty the backfield, and they will give the ball to Booker, who makes a cut, pushes forward, and he got it. First down, Utah.
Once again, good push up front, but he got hit behind the first down marker. Runs behind his pads, pushes forward for the first down. These are two really good coach football teams. These kids are playing hard. Utah State's just having to be out there too much. Once again, zone read. Cuts it all the way back to the right, back behind his right guard for the first down.
Well, 1st and 10. Booker got the ball 3 straight times to get that first down. Got 22 carries now in the game, with more to come, including one here, but that was played beautifully. David Moala, the senior defensive tackle, cut right through into the backfield and dropped Booker for a loss.
David played at Arizona State, but he was quicker than the offensive line getting off the ball. It looked like they had kind of a missed snap, and he just beat them off the jump. He beats the right guard to the gap. Big play.
So now 2nd and 14, and with the backup quarterback in, Kendall Thompson, not the ideal scenario for a guy who is not quite the same kind of thrower as Travis Wilson. Thompson in the pocket will swing it out and almost intercepted the pass caught by Marcus Sanders Williams. That was dangerous. Utah got away with it, but that was close.
Well, that's why you want to stay ahead of the chains. Get plays that you can do that are conservative. He's got to throw that one away. It was nearly intercepted, like the ball earlier in the game. But you're sitting there, you're throwing it out just a little bit behind the defensive tackle rushing upfield. Could have been a critical play to change the momentum.
I think Ricky Ali-Fua got a hand on that ball. Just couldn't squeeze it. Now penalty flag thrown, and that was some confusion for Utah.
Ball start. Offense, number 52. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's the left tackle, Sam Tevi, so that makes it 3rd and even longer with 2:39 to go in the 3rd quarter.
And what the coaches will do here, Dave, they'll either take a deep shot that's safe and try to get a pass interference penalty, or they'll run a draw or a screen. They're going to do something that's safe because they're playing good on defense. They're not sure about Chucky Keaton's health. They've got the best punter in the country, or one of the best punters in the country, the Gray Guy winner. So I think you'll see them be smart here.
So that card meant either screen or deep shot.
Yes.
Here's the screen. Just a little swing pass out to the true freshman Covey, who makes one tackler miss. Couldn't quite get there. Got lost yardage back to the original line of scrimmage, but stopped well short of the 1st down. 4th down with a punt coming up.
When you saw trips, 3 receivers to his right, that probably signified at least screen, because you're not going to throw a double pass in that situation because they've got too much yardage to gain, and the Utah State defensive backs would stay deep.
Well, he's obviously a tough young player, Britton Covey, but he has taken some shots.
Yeah, he's going to sleep good.
And Tom Hackett with another punt coming. This one end over end, fair catch signal, and made at about the 23-yard line by Jalen Davis. Celebrating its 11th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets, Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kicked. To date, Allstate has contributed millions in scholarship funds. Utah State's defense holds. They get the ball back. Aggies are down by 7, 21-14. The big question, though, Mac, looming is how healthy is Chucky Keaton? That knee definitely bothered him on a pass attempt the last time Utah State had the ball. He's going to hand the ball off. Hunt, big hole, and he gets a nice gain across the 25 out to about the 27-yard line.
Coaches feel like the last 5 minutes of the half are critical in a football game to take the momentum into halftime. Utah State did that, but Utah took it away coming back out. So now it's only a 7-point game. Utah State has a great 1st down, 2nd down and 5. They need to get a drive, get their offense going again.
And Coach, the 3rd time they've had the ball, 16 total yards in those first 2 drives plus a play here. They will pitch the ball to Robinson. Utah reads it well and trips up Robinson for a loss of a couple yards back to the 25. That's Gianni Paul once again, who made a huge play on 3rd down in the first half.
Captain, leader, really good instincts. You see the sweep coming to the left. He steps up and makes the play for -yards.
It will officially go as a pass completion because he pitched it forward. But now it's 3rd and long. 3rd and 8 for Keaton and company. And a flag thrown. That's a false start on the Aggies.
False start. Offense, number 83. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Now you're in a tough spot. You're 3rd down and long. You're not moving the ball. You don't have momentum. Tough play call here for Josh Heupel. Are you conservative because you need to stay on the field and get the Utah defense off the field, or do you try to take a chance and not turn the ball over?
Now, one thing, they don't have to run a play here. They will, though. Final play of the third quarter. Keaton going to take a shot down the field. He comes up short. Chucky Keaton having a hard time now. That's the end of the third quarter. The Aggies are going to punt the ball away when we come back to Salt Lake City, Utah, with a 21-14 lead. Another good one on Friday night, a rivalry game. Number 24 ranked Utah at home with a 21-14 lead over Utah State. Dave Fleming, Mac Brown, Allison Williams for the start of the fourth quarter. And the Aggies are going to have to punt the ball away. 4th and long. And they will punt it to Utah with Covey back to receive the punt. And again, no fair catch signal. Covey wants to return, and he gets away. Covey at the 35 to the 40. The true freshman down the sideline takes another hit, but is driven out of bounds in Aggies territory. What a return by Britton Covey, who is quickly becoming a fan favorite here in Salt Lake City.
Well, he's an exciting young player, and also when your team is out on the field so much, you get a little bit tired, you start missing tackles, and that happens in the fourth quarter. And this young man's got great vision. He's tough as nails. He turns up. He's not going to step out of bounds for sure. But when we look at it, Dave, right now Utah's had the ball for 27 minutes and 51 seconds compared to 17:09. They've had 54 plays to 44, and now they got a short field going in.
Yeah, big special teams play for the Utes. 49-yard punt, 30-yard return. The Aggies offense has stalled in the second half, and the Utes going to try to put more points on the board. Thompson rolling out, throws short, complete to Poole, who breaks a tackle, still in bounds. He gets the first down. Well, maybe the effects of what you were just talking about. Aggies have been on the field for a lot of snaps, and we're starting to see some sloppiness from Utah State.
Well, even though it's a 7-point differential here, you still don't have a lot of confidence because you haven't had a lot of good things happen the second half. Bubba Poole's a running back. They hit him on flares. They run him on sweeps. He did a good job of turning up here. In this quarter, in the third quarter, Utah State's had 9 plays for 14 yards, so not a lot of confidence right now.
Meanwhile, Utah moving the ball with their backup, Kendall Thompson, because of the injury to their starter. Another play fake. Thompson tipped, incomplete. Well, Thompson has played well since coming into the game. There have also been a few close calls. LT Filianga got a hand on that one. 8 for 10, 56 yards.
Kendall is a senior, but a lot of times with your backup quarterback, you don't throw the ball over the middle because Coach Royal used to say 3 things can happen when you throw it, and 2 of them are bad. In the middle, it may be 3 for 3.
Thompson hands it off to their running back, Devontae Booker. The cut, dragging that tackler down to the 20-yard line, short of a first down by 3 yards, but 7 more on the ground for Booker, who's getting close to 100 on the night.
Well, and not only do you miss tackles, but the big offensive line's been banging on you all night, and then a guy like Booker, you can't stop him for lost yardage. He makes yards after the contact.
So 3rd and 3. Will they give the ball to Booker once again? They play fake it. Thompson got stacked up, and he did not get there. Jordan Nielsen with a nice read and play. So now it's decision time for Kyle Whittingham. He got a real reliable kicking game, and it looks like he will send out Andy Phillips, the place kicker.
Yeah, no doubt. You're in the fourth quarter. You need a 2-score game here, so this isn't a hard decision to make. Some people might fake it. I think Kyle, with all the success he's had here, the way their defense is playing, he's going to go ahead with a great kicker and go ahead and try to get the points with Andy Phillips.
It looks like a 37-yard attempt for Phillips, who had such a great year last year. Not to get off to a great start last week. He sneaks that one inside the right upright. The 37-yarder is good, and it is a 2-score lead now for Utah. 24-14 with 12:47 to go.
Who's in? Who's in? Who's in? Who's in? I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in.
Well, we're in too, not just for the playoff, but how about for College Game Day, built by the Home Depot tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern on ESPN, live from East Lansing. It'll be Reese, Herbie, Dez, Coach Corso, and the whole crew getting you ready for Oregon and Michigan State and for the whole slate. We got some great games lined up tomorrow. College Game Day starts at 9 a.m. Kickoff, a shorter kickoff this time, and a return set up for Utah State by Hunt, pushed out of bounds around the 20 with a late flag coming in. So we'll see what the penalty is. That will affect field position. The ball spotted as of now at the 19-yard line.
During the return, illegal block in the back, receiving team, number 39, 10-yard penalty. It's first down, Utah State.
Well, Coach, that does not help matters. Not good field position now for the Aggies and their offense in the second half. 3 possessions, 3 different 3-and-outs, and just 14 total yards.
Utah kids have gained a lot of confidence. They're playing with a lot of pep. And whether you like it or not, as a football coach, when your team's not doing well, your kicking teams feel it too. So to get back in this ball game, Utah State has got to take a long drive and get some points. 12:42 left of the game.
And it is loud. Handoff. And that's that junior running back. He was impressive the first few plays of this game. Devontae Mays, who did some damage at the end of that play. He gets a first down and some Utah State breathing room.
Got a little better field position now, so now you can open it up.
Mays, he looks like he has a chance to be a good one for the Aggies.
Yes, he's got the ball off tackle to the right. He bounces outside for the big play.
Keaton with all the noise. Play clock at 12, trying to make an adjustment to the play on first down. And he will hand the ball off to Mays once again, looking to get to the outside. Tough to tackle. Devontae Mays got 3 or so on the play.
You've got to take your running game on the road, and things are not going well right now. So it's really smart by Matt Wells and Josh Heupel. Try to settle your team down. Get a long drive. You've still got plenty of time with 11:48 left, but don't just try to throw it every time when you can't protect up front.
2nd and 7. I mean, there's plenty of time left in this game, but Utah State has to jumpstart the offense. It's been non-existent since halftime. Keaton on the move. Chucky Keaton looking a little bit more frisky. He goes down and takes a hit at the 35, and now he's going to get up slowly. Corey Butler-Bird made the tackle.
Chucky Keaton's a warrior. Those guys up front at Utah have been after him the whole game. They still chip outside for the block. He steps up because there's good coverage downfield, and he runs for the first down.
First down handoff. That's Hunt, the running back, for a yard.
Really impressed with both of these defenses. They're well coached. They play with good pad level up front. Their linebackers make good reads. These are 2 really good defensive football teams.
2nd and 9 for Utah State. Clock continues to roll. 10:40 to go now. In this one, Aggies down 10. Houston, the tight end, in motion. And they do hand the ball off to Hunt. A tough couple yards. Another tackle from Gianni Paul.
Got to be impressed with Johnny Paul. He started all this with a 3rd and 1 stop. He's confident. He's a captain. He plays all over the field. Good speed, tough guy that can step up inside and make the inside play, but he's fast enough to run you down outside.
Well, Utah State started off well on 3rd downs, 5 of 11 for the game, better than last week. But it's 3rd and 7 here. Pressure coming. Keaton throws. He's got his man caught. First down. What a big play. Tyler Fox into Utah territory, and now the Aggies will hustle to the line.
Great protection by the Utah State offensive line. They kept him in the cylinder where he had plenty of room to step up and throw the ball down the field on an inside route for a first down. Now they look like, this drive looks like the one they had right before the half.
Yeah, 15 yards, and they desperately needed that. That's their first down in the second half with 9:25 to go. Dax Raymond, the tight end, goes in motion. They'll swing the ball out left side. Raymond gets a block on. Nice move. Upfield by Kennedy Williams. Inside the 30. Down to the 27-yard line. So a couple of bigger yardage plays for the Aggies offense in a row.
Yes, Dax Raymond with a very good block on the outside. You can see he turns and misses him. He turns back around and shields him to let it become a really big game. You got to love college football. You got to love kids. The coaches are competing. Now the Utah State kids are fighting back to make this a closer ball game, one-score game, 8:54 left. We got a lot of fun ahead.
Now that block from a kid you're talking about, a true freshman playing his second college game. And the pass is dropped. Wide open Kennedy Williams, who was thinking end zone and forgot about just catching the ball. Incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Sometimes you can be too wide open, and there's no one around you for the urgency. That was a tremendous play call. They had the speed sweep coming to the right. They really fooled the Utah defense, and then they had the throwback, which might have been a touchdown because it's hard to catch a goal there. Keaton, again, tremendous leader right now, 5-year guy. He's fighting. He's won this game before. He's been close in this game. He knows what to do.
2nd and 10. Fake on the fly sweep. Keaton's going to keep it. Dances around left side with that bad knee. And you can, every time he slows up, here comes the limp back. But he does still have some acceleration to set up 3rd down.
You got to love his fight. Senior, last time to play in this ball game. They're not going to get him out.
Another 3rd down, 3rd and 7. That drop is looming large on this drive.
And you don't have to make the first down here because you're going to have a 2-score anyway, so you could kick the field goal if you don't make the first.
10th play of the drive. Keaton pressured, sprinting right. He will be hit. The ball's loose on the ground, and who has it? They say Utah football.
It's a fumble. It's covered by the defense. First down, Utah.
So the ruling on the field is a fumble, not an incomplete pass. Keaton took a shot. Paul recovered the fumble. It was the backup defensive end, Pita Taumoepenu, with the hit that jarred the ball loose.
Great pass rush. He just ran around Dax Raymond, the tight end, who's really more of a pass catcher right now. He's been on a mission. He came back. He's still working on his blocking, but this is a huge play in the ball game.
Well, you mentioned a 2-score game. They were in field goal range. The question is, was the arm going forward? But apparently they're okay with the call on the field. It is a fumble. That is the first sack of the year from the Utah defense at a very big time. Hand off Devontae Booker. Booker in Utah, they love to move the ball and milk some clock with 8 minutes to go. A gain of about 5 out to the 30.
Start milking the clock. You keep Chucky on the sideline, and you at least try to get a change in field position. You want to put Utah State on the other end of the field and kill as much clock as possible. 7:51. Clock is getting to be an issue with a 2-score game.
Nobody had more sacks in college football than Utah last year. That's their first of 2015. 2nd and 5. Booker gets the ball again, but stopped after a gain of a yard. So on the other side, Coach, for Utah State, the disappointment of the turnover, in scoring position, the huge drop where it looked like they were going into the end zone. And that play is really a big one in this game right now. But the Aggies have a chance to get the ball right back.
Yeah, another huge play. 7:17 left. You can see that Utah's really slowing the clock down. They're slowing their tempo down. They're wanting to eat as much clock as they possibly can. 12 left on the play clock.
Thompson will let that play clock roll down even more. They snap the ball at 3. Thompson in the pocket, looking to throw, now looking to run. Thompson will not get there. Great open field tackle, and that's LT Filianga who began his career in Utah, now an Aggie star at middle linebacker. That forces fourth down and likely forces a punt. What a big play that was.
Yeah, she punted here. You kill as much clock on the play clock as you can before you punt. Very good tackle by the Utah State defense. You've got the Ray Guy winner. Tom Hackett's one of the best punters in the country. You try to put Utah State back. 6:21 left, 2-score game. You're in good shape. You're playing great defense.
10th tackle in this game for LT Filiunga. So Tom Hackett, the punter. A shorter punt toward that sideline out of bounds. Well, he's the Ray Guy winner. He hasn't punted like it tonight. That was not a great one. Utah State will get the ball back when we come back down 10, 6:05 to go. 6:05 to go here in Salt Lake City. Good game tonight. And as the Aggies get the ball back, time for our game track brought to you by Straight Talk. The Utah State offense down 10 with the ball back, but it's been a different story in the second half for Chucky Keaton and company. And I don't think you can put it all on the Utah State quarterback, but it has been tough going. The Utah defense, and he's not healthy either, but Keaton and company on the field. The first half, 14 points on the board, none so far in the second half. That last drive, though, finally got something going. They get the ball back. Keaton takes another big hit and completes the pass for a first down near midfield. My goodness, how many times can this kid keep getting up?
It's really hard for a quarterback to stand in the pocket, especially like he's been pounded tonight. Sore left knee. He steps up. Guy hits him right up high. He steps through and completes the pass.
Right near midfield, Keaton looking to throw, and he's got another completion to the tight end inside the 35. That's Wyatt Houston. So the Aggies offense now, and Houston looks a little shaken up as he gets up. Houston wants to come off the field. He's going to stay in the game, and we mentioned that game track brought to you by Straight Talk. And Keaton's numbers starting to look a little better in the second half. They hand the ball off to Hunt, who goes nowhere. The first half, especially that last drive, it looked like the Chucky Keaton of old. A couple of touchdown passes, 6 of 10 now, though, and with a little more rhythm.
Well, and there's 5:11 left in the game. They have 3 timeouts. If they get 3 or 7 here, you've still got you a good football game to finish.
You're right about that. Well, they sent 4 receivers wide right. 1 to the left. Keaton with a pump fake, and now he's going to run. But Utah read that well. Keaton does manage to get ahead to about the 32. Kylie Fitz, that was a good play from the backup defensive end. We haven't seen a lot from Hunter Dimmick, who was shaken up in the first half, and Fitz has played well.
Kylie's played really well. When you get an empty backfield with no backs back there, it's usually going to be a quick throw or a quarterback draw.
Another third down for the Aggies, and maybe outside their field goal range. Third and 7. Keaton pressured, steps up, throws, and the pass is caught. Well, the tight end, Dax Raymond, had to wrestle with that one, but the true freshman who threw a big block on the last drive now gets the catch for a first down.
Once again, protection breaks down. He steps up in the pocket. He gets his composure back, completes the pass.
Now a swing out to Robinson. Devontae Robinson down to the 11. Tackled there. Another Utah State first down. Man, the Aggies have finally figured something out on offense. Just in time with about 4 minutes to go. Robinson shaken up on that play, but another Aggies first down.
We said they had 3 tempos at the first of the game. Obviously now they're going 1 minute tempo. Still plenty of time. 3:58. You can score and still kick off the 3 timeouts.
Now movement, and I think that's on Utah State. The right tackle, Jake Simonich, with the penalty, 5 yards backwards for Utah State. And let's go down onto the sidelines and Allison Williams.
Well, Mac was mentioning the pace, the different tempos for Utah State. That's something Coach Wells talked to his guys about before they took the field. He told them, we can't operate crazy fast, but we've got to go. Also told them to make sure that if they can conserve time, to jump out of bounds.
Right. Time is of the essence. You don't have to rush to take you out of what you want to do, but you got to hurry.
Great point, Allison. Very well coached football teams.
Keaton in the shotgun. Keaton setting up a screen play. They complete it. Out into the open. What a tackle for Utah. That was Justin Thomas in the open field against Andrew Rodriguez. So a gain of about 5. Clock continues to roll. Second down.
Outstanding open field tackle. Eats some clock, so it was a lot more than just an open field tackle.
Keaton with precious seconds ticking off. Pressured again. Tipped up and intercepted. On the tip ball, Utah comes up with the turnover. Another big play by the Utah defense, and Chucky Keaton will stagger to the sideline. He took another one.
Once again, the pressure up front forced Chucky to step up and throw a ball behind the receiver.
Well, Jason Fanayako's had a big game at defensive end, put the hit on, and there's the captain, Gianni Paul, with the interception. Aggies turn it over. Utah gets the ball back. Mississippi State hosting LSU at 9:15. That's tomorrow. College football primetime on ESPN. Well, Utah in milk the clock mode now, and Devontae Booker, pretty good guy to try to do it. That puts him over 100 yards on the night and an 8-yard gain on first down.
Utah's going to really slow it down and try to kill the clock. Coach Wells has got to think about, how do I use my 3 timeouts?
Well, even one more first down and Utah State's odds of winning this game shrink down to almost nothing. Then you force the Aggies to use all their timeouts.
And if you're Kyle Whittingham, you've told your offense, you've challenged them. I don't want Chucky back on the field.
Try to end the game with the ball. Utah leading 24-14 rather. A low snap. Now that would be a disaster, a turnover. Give it to Booker for a first down. The clock will stop momentarily with 2:09 to play. And now Utah State does use their first timeout. So Utah trying to hang on for the win at home. We'll be back right after this.
First of the half. Timeout on the field.
Game tonight. Both of these teams and coaches can leave here with their heads up and looking forward to having great seasons.
Well, barring a mistake, Utah will be able to come close to finishing this game. Now a penalty thrown. That's a false start against the Utes.
Well, you can't have it.
False start.
Put you in a 1st and 15. You don't use any.
5-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about that. Now, if you don't get a first down with those timeouts, Utah State at least can get the ball back, maybe without much time left on the clock. But that goal that you said, Coach Whittingham told his offense, don't let them get it again. That penalty makes it harder.
No, that you can't do that. You got to focus. You got to finish this game strong. Don't lose your concentration.
So 1st and 15, Kendall Thompson will hand it off to the ultra-reliable Devontae Booker. That's his 29th carry of the game. He's up around 115 yards, about half of those after contact. That power running that we've talked about from Booker.
Timeout. Utah State.
There's the second timeout for the Aggies. It'll be a quick one for us, so we'll be back. Utah trying to finish out a win right after this.
It began with an idea pitched in a small hotel room in Portland, Oregon. 4 universities and the ambition to unite the West through academic and athletic excellence. Since its founding in 1915, the Pac-12 has been an irresistible magnet for the world's best student athletes. A driver of diversity, a paragon of progress, and a touchstone of innovation. A conference of champions born 100 years ago. The year the West was won.
If these walls could talk, the tales they'd tell. They've witnessed legendary leaders inspire greatness on the field. These walls can talk, and we're telling their stories. We are Pac-12 Networks, broadcasting the next 100 years of record.
Timeout. Utah State. 3rd and final of the half.
Well, we come back. Utah ran the ball for a short gain. Utah State uses their final timeout. 1:56 to go, down 10. to set up a third down at about 8 yards for Utah. So they are going to have to run another play. And then if they don't get the first down, they will have to punt. Utah State has a chance to get the ball back with about a minute still to go in this game, down 10.
You got to be proud of the Utah State football team. They haven't quit. They haven't given up. Matt Wells is doing a great job there, and that came from Gary Anderson. Gary Anderson got it started. In fact, his son, Chason, is a linebacker on this team, number 18. He's got a big game tomorrow at Ann Arbor, but I think Utah State can still have a really good year ahead of them.
Yeah, it's interesting how Gary Anderson's old team playing Utah here in this rivalry game, and his new team, Oregon State, on the road against the team that Utah started with last week, Michigan. Jim Harbaugh looking for his first win. Won't be easy, though. Oregon State, not a lot of expectation on the Beavers this year.
And Gary's been to the big house before with Wisconsin, so he's not going to be surprised by the crowd.
3rd and 8 for Utah. Kendall Thompson, who's done a nice job replacing the injured starter Travis Wilson. Booker gets another carry. He will not get the first down. Now, Utah State cannot stop the clock. They have no more timeouts, but they will get the ball back.
Dennis Erickson, one of the best coaches in the history of college football. One of 2 guys to win a national championship is the running back coach here. Gene Chizik, the other, did a great job last week as the defensive coordinator at North Carolina. Dennis won the national championship at Miami. He's telling his backs, hold on to that ball, put both hands on it, get up slow, hand the ball back to the officials, and let's get out of this ball game. A lot of knowledge sitting there with Dennis Erickson.
Only 2 guys in college football who were head coaches for a national championship winning team who are now assistant coaches. Dennis Erickson and Gene Chizik. And now Kyle Whittingham, who's been a national coach of the year, will call a timeout to set up the punt play. We're talking about Dennis Erickson, part of a very experienced staff. Head coach at 6 different programs: Idaho, Wyoming, Washington State, Miami, Oregon State, Arizona State. National championships twice with the Hurricanes. Head coach with 2 different franchises in the NFL. And now he's just kind of like an advisor, an assistant coach, a sounding board for Kyle Whittingham. He does a lot of different things for this Utah program.
Well, Gianni Paul came in yesterday, and Devontae Booker, and they both said, Coach, if you like a guy and trust a coach 60 to 70%, that's pretty good. But I like him and trust him 100%. So Dennis Erickson, John Peace, 2 older guys, been around, 86 years, helping Kyle Whittingham. And Kyle didn't even need a lot of help. He's a great coach, but he's got some tremendous coaches on this staff.
Well, in a business that is full of young guys now, and deservedly so, this has got to be one of the more experienced coaching staffs in college football. And Utah will, barring a total disaster here, get out with a 2nd straight win to start the year.
You've got to get the punt off. You can't have it blocked. You might kick it out of bounds just to make sure there's no return.
Well, there will be a return here, and not a long one. Good special teams play by Utah. Now, the whistle did blow. You can't blame Jalen Davis for thinking, well, why don't I just keep running? Maybe he thought his knee did not touch. Deshaun McClellan with the tackle on special teams. 50-yard punt without a return. Davis.
On the field. Runner was down at the 27-yard line. First down, Utah State.
So he's still arguing that he was not down. Now, obviously, that would change the scenario if he took it back all the way. We'll see if we can see whether the knee touched.
Really good effort play by McClellan.
Yes, the knee is down. So Jalen, good sales job. Not going to work.
And normally the reason you would kick the punt the ball out of bounds, about the only way you can get beat now is a punt return for a touchdown, an onside kick, and a throw into the end zone.
A minute and 1 second left. Utah State does get the ball back. Down by 10. The big question we see in Travis Wilson there on both sides. I mean, Chucky Keaton has stayed in this game. He's taken a huge number of big hits. And, I mean, Chucky only sacked 1 time, but the hits have been a big factor for Utah State. The health of both of these quarterbacks going forward, Chucky's taken a beating.
Well, and you talk about sacks and numbers, hurries, pressures, contact on a quarterback. Those are modern-day sacks because the quarterback can get the ball out of his hands so much. He's a tough young guy, but that front at Utah tonight has put a lot of pressure.
Aggies have to go on the road next week to another Pac-12 team, Washington. Keaton in the pocket, looking for a miracle. It's incomplete. Utah goes on the road to Fresno State, a Mountain West team that Utah State will see.
And the question mark with Travis Wilson.
Big time. Big time. I mean, it changes Utah if he's not available. Kendall Thompson's done a nice job tonight, but the passing dimension of their offense is diminished without Wilson in there.
Yeah, and Wilson could do both. He could run and throw. They're going to have to work with Kendall in the passing game.
Keaton drops the ball. Utah State does pounce on it, and Keaton is hurting. And Chucky Keaton, you just feel for one of the toughest guys in college football. But how much is too much?
You keep him in the game because you still have a chance to win. You throw it deep, you onside kick. Coaches do not want to ever send a message to their players that it's over.
Keaton stepping up. How much can he get on the throw with the bad leg? Pretty good amount. Jump ball and caught. Wow, what a play and a great throw. Devontae Robinson. And now Keaton, I mean, it's hard for him even to run up to the line of scrimmage with 18 seconds still on the clock. Aggies are not giving up on this game. You have the option of lining up and trying a field goal. You need 2 scores. But the clock will start, and they're going to go for the end zone. Keaton looking that way. Fight for the ball. Robinson out of bounds. Incomplete. Another spectacular athletic grab by Robinson, and he's hurting. Down out of bounds with 11 seconds to go.
Well, it's never over till it's over, and you love the fight out of both of these teams.
That was a great effort by Devontae Robinson, who's played well.
Senior, good player. Ball led him out of bounds.
Field for injury. An offensive player was injured, but because the result of the play was an incomplete pass, there can be no option for 10-second runoff. 3rd down.
6 catches, 119 yards. He's been the big play guy for Utah State when they needed one, with the suspension of Hunter Sharp, who will be back next week, and that will help the Aggies offense, but also the injury to Brandon Swindle, and we don't know when he'll be back, but he's another good wideout.
Swindle's a 6'4" senior receiver. What we got tonight is all you can ask out of your team if you're a coach is all you've got. And both of these teams have given us every ounce of energy that they've got. It's been a good football game.
11 seconds left.
And the trouble with kicking the field goal at 33, if you miss it, the game's over.
Yep. And now Keaton on the move, and Chucky Keaton just heaves it up short, caught by Hunt, who does not get out of bounds, and that will end the game. For the final play, a completion, but Utah State, with that effort, they come up short, and a tough performance by Chucky Keaton, who can be proud of the way that he and Utah State played, but they lose 24-14.
Well, brother versus brother. They left it all out on the field. A lot of respect for each other. You see that now on the field.
One of the long-standing rivalries, and I think a rivalry that has always been had sportsmanship at the center of it, and you see some of that. The 2 quarterbacks who got beat up. The 24th ranked team in the country gets a win, 24-14 over Utah State. For Mac Brown, for Allison Williams, and our entire crew, Dave Fleming saying good night here from Salt Lake City. Coming up next, it's baseball tonight. Utes win 24-14 final.